say session 4.
You're supposed to be in just a minute. 4.
Okay.
Team 4 at.
Yes, sir.
I'm not seeing your name in team 4. What name you have written there, Doctor? Dr. Lone?
Legman Yohan David, my name.
Yes, sir. Legman David was in session 4. Team 2.
Okay. Okay.
Sir Pranav,
Okay.
can I present
Finished
first?
his presentation, but now he's here.
Because I'm in this session and I have to go to work at 3 o'clock.
Okay, let Dr. Lone finish, then you can present, Dr. Jalal. Let's
But he
begin
was
with
in the earlier session, you know, because I'm what if he takes time, I have to go after 15 minutes. After 15 minutes until I reach the campus.
It's okay. Is it okay, Dr. Lone, if you allow Dr. Jalal, because his name was before your name?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Okay.
Thank you,
Jalal.
Dr. Lohan, and thank you, Dr. Pranav.
Go ahead, please. So we have 10 minutes for presentation, and we'll have 3-4 minutes for question and answer, Dr. Jalal.
Okay. So can you see the slides?
Yes, we can.
Okay, you can see also my picture, right?
Yes, doctor. Go ahead, please.
Okay, good afternoon to all of you. So first of all, I would like to thank the organizers of the conference for giving us an opportunity to present our research here. And we hope that in this conference, you will get some important information about my topic or some insights. We will learn from each other some important information with regards to the topics, with regards to the marketing. So today I will be sharing with you about impact of social media marketing features or impact of social media advertising features on consumer purchase decision in the fast food industry, mediating role of a brand trust. So as we know nowadays, there is much interest about social media, and even many organizations have become more interested in modern marketing practices because the traditional marketing practices have become unsuitable for them in order to shape the purchase decisions of consumers. And nowadays, we also know that most of the internet users are young people, and in every country, I believe more than 90% of people have access to the internet. So many of our purchase decisions comes because of the social media, and many brands, they have created pages for themselves to promote their products or services, to get in touch with customers. So this paper focuses on examining 4 social media advertising features on a brand trust and purchase decision. And the concept of purchase decision has been viewed as an important area of research in the marketing field, which attracted large attention from researchers. And the social media channels have gained also greater attention from marketeers because it plays an important role in creating brand trust and promoting themselves through various platforms. So the problem statement for this paper, as we know nowadays, majority of people have access to the internet and they spend long time on browsing through it. Even many customers, they try to look for products or services through online, especially when we put likes to the certain pages of like retailers or other companies, fast food brands, so we can get updated about their offerings, about their products or services from time to time. We can see even there is promotions. So therefore, social media has been reported in the previous literature as an important driver of consumer behavior. But in this research, the main problem is that despite the importance of social media marketing in influencing the purchase behavior of consumers and brand image, it is rarely found a study about the impact of social media marketing on a brand trust and purchase decision. So therefore, this study aims to contribute to the literature by testing the mediating role of a brand trust between 4 social media marketing features and purchase decision. So by looking at the literature, it is hard to find a study that integrated these variables together in one model. So this study aims to provide the contribution. So based on the problem statement, the research questions are formulated as follows. So this research question also shows, they show the variables of the study or dimensions of social media marketing. So the first research question is, does informativeness have a significant effect on purchase decision? And does informativeness have a significant effect on a brand trust? Then 3, does interactivity have a significant effect on purchase decision and brand trust? So I will not read all because I'm sure it takes longer time. So what I wanted to inform you that this research question include the relationship between each dimension of social media marketing and purchase decision with brand trust. So which include the dimension informativeness, interactivity, perceived relevance, and entertainment. This study also aimed to examine if brand trust mediates the relationship between each and brand. Sorry, here I put the brand loyalty. It's supposed to be brand trust. So based on these research questions, the research objectives are also formulated. So to examine if each dimension of social media marketing has a positive effect on purchase decision and brand trust, and also to examine if a brand trust mediates the relationship between each. So here is the literature about the variables. So the dependent variable for the study is purchase decision, which is about a sequence of choices formed by consumer before making a purchase. And this usually starts when consumer recognizes that they have a problem or a need to be fulfilled. Then consumer will go for searching for brands, evaluating them, and later will reach at a purchase decision. So the consumer will usually search for brands through various platforms. And nowadays, because internet has made it easy for consumer to find about brands, about the products or services, so social media is also playing an important role. So brands, they share about their offerings on the social media. So the past literature also suggested that consumers usually attempt to minimize the risk of their purchase decisions. So therefore, consumers, they try to evaluate brands, compare between them, and then later reach a rational decision. Brand trust also was examined in the previous literature as a mediator, and even one author mentioned, Morgan, stated that brand trust can mediate the relationship between variables. So this study also used it as a mediator because it has been examined previously as a mediator between different variables, and some of the independent variables were linked to brand trust, and the brand trust also affect purchase decision. So therefore, this study suggests that it could mediate the relationship between social media marketing features and purchase decision. So brand trust was first defined as the confidence that one will find what is desirable from another rather than what is feared. So it means consumer will have confidence in selecting a brand over another. So it emphasizes on the high possibility and expectations in a manner that consumer expect a brand to generate favorable outcomes. So that's why when consumers trust a brand, they believe that this brand will be able to fulfill their needs and the product or service purchase will meet their expectations. Other researchers also defined it as the confident expectations of the brand's reliability and intentions. So social media also has received large attention in the earlier literature from many scholars, and the previous studies, they use different dimensions or elements to measure social media marketing. So this study aims to contribute to the literature by integrating 4 dimensions or features of social media marketing together to investigate their effect on brand trust and purchase decision. So these 4 dimensions include interactivity, perceived relevance, informativeness, and entertainment. They have not been used collectively in one model with brand trust and purchase decision. So the definition for each simply and briefly. So the first social media marketing feature is informativeness, which refers to the ability of the brand to provide customers with important information and sufficient information about their offerings through different channels of media, internet platforms. And entertainment refers to the ability of the firm to create memorable experiences for consumers on social media channel, which can be perceived by them as fun and playful. Interactivity, it refers also to the two-way communication between the firm and its customers. Nowadays, companies can communicate with customer anytime in the day, and also one-to-one interaction because of the chat box. So there is more privacy when they communicate with customers. Perceived relevance also was defined in the literature as the degree to which consumers perceive a personalized advertisement to self-related or in some way instrumental in achieving their personal goals and values. So nowadays, companies even can customize their messages, their advertising programs to the consumers to suit their needs and expectations. So according to Bitman and Stewart 1990, customers tend to have a greater interest in advertisements which are perceived to be highly relevant to their particular preferences.
Dr.
So
Jalal,
yeah.
Dr. Jalal, we have 3 minutes more. Please, yeah, a little
Okay,
faster.
I will be fast.
Thank
Okay,
you.
so with regards to the linkages between social media marketing features and the brand trust as well as purchase decision, these previous studies found that social media marketing plays an important role in determining consumer purchase decision and the brand trust. So here also for each dimension of social media, there is a support for previous studies which found positive relationship between them and mediator and DV. So regarding the research framework, as you can see, I have 4 independent variables, which include informativeness, interactivity, perceived relevance, and entertainment. These are social media marketing features. Mediator is brand trust. Dependent variable is purchase decision. And this is the first study that integrates all of them in one model. So these are research hypotheses concerning each one according to the figure you see. So I connected each IV with the brand trust in hypothesis and also with purchase decision, and also hypothesis for brand trust mediating the relationship between each independent variable and DV. So regarding my research methodology, I relied on survey instrument. I collected data online from customers of fast food brands in United Arab Emirates. There are about 258 surveys were filled and written by the respondents. And the sampling methodology is convenience sampling. Data was analyzed by PLSM. And in the survey, a 5-point Likert scale was used for measuring responses of the participants. This is the results. As you can see, the Cronbach alpha, here the reliability analysis first, the measurement of variables, because I use same table. So measurement of variable, the number of items for each measurement, for each dimension of social media and brand trust and purchase decision, you can see number of items and the source. Descriptive statistics also showed that about 63.2% of the participants are males, while females accounted for 36.8%. And most of the participants, they are young, less than 25 years, because I targeted the students at higher education institutions. So this is the reliability analysis results for the measurement scales. As you can see, Cronbach alpha is greater than 0.7, according to her and colleagues. So this means that the measurement scale are reliable. Cronbach alpha exceeded 0.6. And there is nullly also, one author stated it should be 0.6 and above. So it means that they are achieved. Discriminant validity also was conducted among the measurement scale to ensure that they are different from each other. So as you can see, the bold-face values, they are greater than the correlation values in the same table and row, same column and row. So therefore, we can say that these variables have discriminant validity, according to the formula of Fornell and Larker, 1981. So these are the results. As you can see in the table, so all of the hypotheses were supported, which means that informativeness, interactivity, perceived relevance, and entertainment, all of them have positive effect on purchase decision and brand trust. So this is because p-value is less than 0.05 and t-value is more than 1.96. And also mediation, maybe I forgot to add it. After testing the mediation, it was found also significant and positive. So the brand trust mediates the relationship between all of these dimensions and purchase decision. So it's a key mediating rule. The hypothesis was supported also. So regarding the limitation for this research, I relied on a cross-sectional survey. Therefore, this may limit the ability to generalize the results or to get depth understanding about consumers' perception of social media and purchase decision. So future research can rely on a qualitative research or longitudinal design. And also the scope of this research is limited to fast food industry. So future research can test the same variable in another context. Finally, convenience sampling was used, which is non-random sampling technique. Therefore, future studies can rely on random sampling techniques to increase the generalizability of the results. So sorry, the mediation here, I put it maybe in different slide. As you can see, this is the result of mediation, which means that the hypotheses are supported. I used the Breachers and Hayes 2008 formula for testing the mediation. So in conclusion, the study aimed to examine the impact of 4 social media marketing features on purchase decision and brand trust in fast food industry. So the results showed that all of them have positive effect on brand trust and purchase decision. Brand trust also mediates the relationship between each. So it is recommended for the management in the fast food industry to rely on social media marketing features in order to shape their brand images, influence brand trust, and also purchase decisions of consumers. So since nowadays is the trend for consumer to search for brands on social media, the managers also should target them through the platforms which are popular in the country. Thank you all. This is from me for this topic. Do you have any questions, please?
Thank you so much, Dr. Jalal. Thanks for presenting such a wonderful research. Okay, audience, do we have any questions? Do we have any question? Anyone? Okay. Okay, so since no one has any question, can I ask you one question, Dr. Jalal, if you permit me?
Yes, of course.
Okay, doctor. So, doctor, why did you use convenience sampling? If you see the theory, if you see any research methodology book by Uma Shekran or any research methodology book, in that it says that sampling is done for sampling can be of 2 types. One is probabilistic sampling, second is non-probabilistic sampling. In probabilistic sampling, which is used for quantitative research, we have again 4 or 5 types, like cluster sampling, stratified sampling, then systematic sampling, random sampling. These 4 are the ones that are used for quantitative research. Then the second type of sampling is non-probabilistic sampling, where again we have 4 or 5 types, and this non-probabilistic sampling is used for qualitative research. Which means what? Non-probabilistic means what? That every member of the population does not have equal chance of being selected as the sample of study, which is why we call it non-probabilistic. And then in there we have various types like quota sampling or snowball sampling or judgment sampling or purposive sampling or convenience sampling. So ideally, theory says that convenience sampling we should be using for qualitative research, where we can choose according to convenience. If I like you or if I know you, then I can conduct interview with you and so on. For quantitative research, in order to maintain maximum randomness and in order to keep minimum the biasness, we use any of those probabilistic methods. So can I just ask you that what was the reason of using convenience sampling here, even though it was a quantitative research? Just your opinion, doctor.
Yeah, thank you, doctor. So first of all, convenience sampling was used because it was very difficult to read the respondents and to get the list of them. As you know, because of coronavirus, even many students, they did not go to the universities, and not all universities will be allowing us to get the list of them. So actually the research collected data from students at higher education institutions. So due to that, I feel that it will be suitable to collect data through convenience sampling. It is less time consuming, also less costly. And another thing, it was used by many previous studies which collected data from the same respondents. I have seen many studies published even in top journal, and they collected data using convenience sampling from students on like same perceptions, consumer on similar variables. So it was the main reason was very difficult to get the list of respondents from the universities, and it was difficult to also go to these universities because of the lockdowns and the issue of coronavirus.
That's great, doctor. Yeah, we all have faced this situation in this COVID times. Thank you so much, Dr. Jalal. And it was a wonderful presentation. We wish you all the luck. And now
Thank you very much.
If you allow me, we can move to our next presenter, Dr. Lone David.
Yes.
Dr. Lone David, you can go ahead with sharing your slide. Dr. Jalal, you can unshare your slides.
I already unshared. Now, is it okay?
Yeah, that's okay. Dr. David, are you there?
Yeah, he
Yes,
shared
sir.
it.
Thank you, doctor. You can begin now. Thank you so much.
Hello, my name is Lekman Ion David, and I'm a doctor in engineering and management, and also a professor at the Pennsylvania Economic College in Târgu Mureș, Romania. And I want to thank you for the opportunity to participate to this conference. Today, I would like to present you the paper, Economic Development of the Company by Adopting some AR/VR Innovation. Today, the goal of companies in the market continue to be maximum profit. But one of the main elements that have come to the attention of the company over the last decade is customer satisfaction. And why customer satisfaction? As long as the business run out of customers, we can say that the deal is a fail. More and more companies in the market economy are choosing customer satisfaction as a performance indicator. Let's say, for example, if in online commerce, the interaction between employee and customer is based on a phone call, chat, or even email. In postal service, the interaction is mostly face-to-face. In both situations, the customer satisfaction must be maximum. The general methodology of research was based on 3 types of research: fundamental, applied, and empirical. The main purpose of this work is to analyze how the SPC indicator, which is a personal indicator, is implemented in 2 different companies as a future solution for growth and business development. This paper has 2 research hypotheses. The first one is the current customer satisfaction system adopted by some companies are not always able to provide an optimal solution for economic growth and development. And the second one, the current evaluation system and method requires improvements. The CR program, which is also a personal program, is based on 4 elements of the management: planning, training, orientation, and controlling. Using the CR program, we managed to improve employee performance, labor productivity, and also a few economic indicators. The SPC is a system of evaluating employee performance independent with customer satisfaction. As regarding this indicator, he brings a real picture of the relationship between customer satisfaction and employee performance. To increase this employee performance, it was necessary to introduce the CR program. As you can see on the screen, this program is gathering the SPC indicator, ITA method, and the technology Augmented Reality. Just a second. In this work, we have studied based on 2 companies, one in the field of postal service and the other one is a hairstyling company. Through the CR program, we have implemented something new in each of these companies. As for the postal service company, the employee used VR glasses to improve their package setting skills in both the warehouse and in the distribution process. In the hairstyling company, we used a virtual reality to experience some models of haircuts and changes of customer hair color. As you can see on the screen, we have the results of the economic indicators for the companies. As the first one, the postal service company, an employee of the postal service delivers about 60 packages per day. The company's employee program is pretty flexible. It ranges from 7 hours to 12 hours per day. According to the SPC indicator, in July, 31 employees were in the weak area, which is color, red color, with an index below 0.10 points, representing 46% of the employee, which is not such a good thing. In the yellow area, which is the average area, there were 34 employees with the SPC index between 0.10 and 0.20, which represent 51% of the total employees. Only 2 employees are in the open green area, which is a good thing, with an index above 0.20 points, which represent 3% of the total number of employees, 67. Analyzing the program, it was considered that the employees were having difficulty in putting the packages properly inside in the trucks, the cars that we're using for deliveries. Those difficulties were also in the warehouse, where a lot of space remained unused. If we step to the economic indicators, you can see that turnover indicator, an increase of 2% can be observed in August compared to July. The company profit also increased in August as compared to July by more than 14%, which is a good thing. The upward trend continued even in September with a 25% as compared to August. The rate of economic return is also on the rise in August from July by 13%. And an increase of 26% in September from August. The economic activity of the company is quite stable regarding the profit, which is a good thing. Stepping on the hairstyle salon, we can see the SPC indicator in August. 83% of the employees were in the weak area, which is the red area, 16% in the average area, and no employee in the good area, which you can see the blue color, 0%. In September, the number of employee in the weak area decreased to 33%, while the number of employees in the average area increased to 66%. In October, 16% of the employees were in the good area. The number of the customer in the hairstyle company has increased for 1 month to the next, reaching 1,779 customer in October, which is a good thing also. Regarding the economic indicators, you can see an increase in turnover of the firm in September 2021 compared to August, almost 3%. In October, the turnover fell by almost 7%, which is not really a negative fact, given the company's cost in October decreased by almost 10%. Concerning the main element within the firm activity in the market economy, that is profits, have been steadily increasing in October, more than 15,000 euro, with an increase of 53% compared to August 2021. The other economic indicators used in this survey show the company's economy activity is healthy. The profitability rate and the trade rate developed positively also. Regarding the conclusion, even if a company managed to achieve economically positivity results, it does not guarantee that it will also be successful in the market. Finding new ways to learn and implement innovative tools is more difficult than ever today, especially when the technology has taken such a momentum. This technology, augmented reality, is an effective tool that can be applied in many different fields, from education to business. Thank you for the opportunity to participate to this conference. If there is any question.
Thank you so much, Dr. Legman. It was a wonderful and detailed presentation. Audience, do we have any question? Okay. Do we have anyone who has any question? Please go ahead. If not, then doctor, if you allow me, may I ask you one simple question?
Yes, sir.
Doctor, you did not discuss about the locational gaps, since it was about customer satisfaction, where this study was conducted, in which research setting? I mean, what was the location of the customers that you took into consideration? Was it a global customer issue, or was it in one particular country? What about it? And the second thing, data collection. What was the data collection method that you used? We would like to know a bit about that. Thank you, doctor.
Yeah, thank you for the question. The first question, the Postal Service is a successful company from Romania, and the hairstyling salon is located in Switzerland.
Okay. So when you're talking about customer satisfaction, they mean customers of Romania and Switzerland, you mean?
Yes, sir. Actually, there's going to be a future paper that I'm working about to see how we can measure the customer satisfaction in 2 different countries. That's a little bit complex.
Okay, okay, doctor. And how about your data?
Yeah, the data collection, I was using the questionnaire forms. I was using Google Forms to collect all the data. All the question was printed, and I was using also the SPS as V21.
Okay, that's perfect. Thank you so much, Dr. Legman. Wonderful listening to you.
Yeah.
We hope to hear again from you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
You too have a great day. Now, can we move to our next presenter? And Dr. Sadaf Hayat. Sadaf Hayat. Do we have Sadaf Hayat from Pakistan? Do we have here Sadaf Hayat? No? Okay.
She's not here yet, but we have Mr. Ali Supro.
We go by sequence, Ms. Anusha.
Yeah.
The next one will be Muhammad Shahrukh. Do we have Muhammad Shahrukh? M. Shahrukh. Okay, so we don't have that one. Then in that case, do we have Nidhi? Nidhi, are you there? Nidhi? Okay, so Nidhi, are you there? Okay, so if Nidhi is not there, then we have Ali Shukru Chetinkaya. Ali Shukru Chetinkaya. You can go ahead, please.
Hi, everyone. I am here. I think I am very lucky today. It is my turn.
We are lucky. We are lucky to have you here. Please go ahead, share your slide, and please take care of timing. You have 10 minutes for presentation, and we'll have 3 minutes for quick Q&A.
My arrangements, just a minute, please.
And you can open your camera. We'd be happy to see you.
I was not waiting so fast coming to my turn. Let me prepare my arrangements. Just a minute, please.
That's okay.
I am just opening up my slide. share. Let me share my screen first.
You have a share screen button in the bottom. Click on that and then it will start sharing.
Yeah, here I see. I think, yes, share button is here. This is my screen. And share this one also. Do you got my screen up?
Yeah, we can see that. You can use, slideshow so that it will be slightly bigger.
And now it is full screen. Do you see my
Yeah.
screen? Super.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much again, dear Chair. And hi everyone. My name is Ali Şükrü Çetinkaya. I am going to present you my study that I conducted with Gürkan Güleç, who is a PhD candidate. And this is a part of his thesis research. So this research titled Controlling and Auditing Operational Activities, a Scale Development. Here is the outline, and you will follow from the top of the slides. The goal of this study was that in organizations, controlling is very important, and in management, as we all know, that if you don't scale, you don't manage. I mean, in order to manage the organization, you have to follow up all the procedures, duties, and set standards. So control and inspection techniques is a must in all organizations, but it differs from organization to organizations. Thus, we thought that there is a need for a universal measurement tool, which can be easily applied in all kinds of businesses, independent of sector, and has standard rules and processes that are essential within the scope of control and audit practices. We observed that there is no, we didn't come up any such unique and universal scales. All scales are sector specific or business specific. So that was the main goal of this study. I mean, to develop a valid and reliable generic tool to measure the perception of control and audit practices in enterprises. Controlling is taking place just before the action or during the action, and control can be explained as observing whether the actions performed are carried out according to the orders and the rules set. Similarly, control is the examination to determine that the activities carried out are progressing as planned that occur during the transaction processes. Auditing is a bit different. It comes mostly after the action, but auditing is the systematic examination of all specific activities of an organization against specific objectives. And it looks at the standards and how far the organization met those standards is the main objective of auditing. We designed this research quantitatively, and first of all, we started looking from the literature, the other researchers, how they scaled this concept, and we created a common item pool, and we come up around 250 items here. Later on, we scanned and eliminated similar or irrelevant items, and we come up certain numbers and asked experts, got their recommendations, and also we got a pilot study. At the end, we set the initial items of the scale around 50 items in total. Later on, we collected the data. Data was collected in Kocaeli in Turkey. Kocaeli is the nearest city in Istanbul, and Kocaeli is also the biggest city in terms of industrial zones and manufacturing in Turkey. And the questionnaire applied on 21 different factories. These factories are the big and huge factories which are operating in automotive sector, including Mercedes, Hyundai, Toyota operations or factories that are taking place in Kocaeli. Totally, we delivered 695 questionnaires. However, we returned 527 valid questionnaires in the end. We conducted demographic, we looked at demographic statistics, we conducted reliability test, normality test, EFA, CFA, and correlation analysis, and multicollinearity analysis. Here are the findings. When we look at the demographic statistics, the participants are highly educated people, have experience over than 4 years, and at the age of more than 25 years. That means they are well educated and at the very first mature state of their positions, and they work as employees and the legal status is joint venture of the companies. Reliability and normality validity test here. The reliability is high enough, and it is also expected in such a way because there were 50 items, and in such high number of researchers, Chromba alpha goes to the highest level. And normality test, we looked at Kolmogorov, Smirnov, skewness, kurtosis tests, and at the end we find out that the data can be accepted as normally distributed. We looked at the EFA, explanatory factor analysis, and Chromba alpha, KNO, and Barnett's test results show that the number of observations are well enough, and the data is nearly perfect now for making or doing this analysis. The EFA generated 5 different components and having the eigenvalues more than 1. And all these 5 components explained more than 70% of total variance. During the EFA analysis, 6 items were eliminated because they don't have enough factor loading value. 3 items were eliminated because there were they had dual loadings. Later on, one more item was also eliminated because it generated since the level of the cumulative variance were lower than 70. So we need to eliminate one more item. So 10 items were excluded in analysis, and at the end we had 40 items in total. Later on, we looked at the construct validity by using the CFA because CFA explains more deeply or gives more deeply and better results in terms of determining the validity. So the model was perfectly fit and with the data. The APA and CR values were also very acceptable. That means the proposed construct was really valid and reliable. We also further looked at the correlations and checked the multicollinearity and correlations predicted that there is a moderate level of relationship among these components, and there were no multicollinearity issue in the data set. So a valid and reliable scale was developed to measure the perception of the control and audit practices in enterprises. The scale expected to serve both industry practitioners and researchers in their future researches. That was all for our findings. Thank you very much for your listening. If you have any question, you are welcome. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ali. That was a wonderful presentation. Okay, audience, do we have any question from you all? Anyone? Dr. Legman, Dr. Jalal, anyone? Nazira? Okay. So if no one has any question, Doctor, if you allow me, may I ask a couple of questions?
Sure, yes.
Thank you so much, Doctor. Doctor, my first question is, what was the need of this study? Like, if we researchers feel that there is a need to study something, that one is not a need, that is not a theoretical need. Some literature must say that there is a need to conduct this study, then only we say that there is a theoretical gap. Otherwise, it becomes applied research, which is fine. So, need of study, that is number one. Then my second thing, most of the analysis that you have shown, like EFA, CFA, pilot and all that, that one we do in normal studies when we already have established scales. But since your study was on developing new scales, then what extra things you did for scale development? Like generally when we do scale development, we do multi-studies. First, we do qualitative research where we collect expert opinions. Then we convert them into, scales, possible scales by relating them with existing similar scales and so on. Then we do another study, like we can use some smart PLS and such software, which is used for theory development for new scales. It allows us to use any type of response. Like when you collect data, and let's say if someone has given us 555, all tick mark in 555 option. So when you draw normality curve, it will be right skewed. If someone has given 111, let's say all respondent gave 1 tick mark. So it will come, the normal curve will be left skewed. If all of them have given average ticking, like, they put tick mark in 3, scale 333, everyone, then we will have a long kurtosis. Now, this type of data is not normal data. If we run it in MOS, then we have to normalize them first and then we run it, which is not the case of scale development. In scale development, since it's a new thing being developed, we allow our respondents to give data in whatsoever form they feel comfortable. So for scale development, generally we go for construct validity, content validity, and there is one extra external validity also. These calculations are available, in smart PLS and different type of PLSM. So just I would like to get some idea from you, Doctor, that for scale development, which itself is a big study, what extra things you did apart from EFA, CFA, normality, multicollinearity, and those kind of things? Yeah, over to you, Doctor. Just I'm asking for my own knowledge.
Yeah, first question, the need for this scale comes, first of all, as I mentioned, this research is a part of PhD study. My co-author, Gürkan Güleç, is the student that I advised to him, and his exact research paper covers one topic of this. One part of topic is this one. While doing the research, there we couldn't see, or he couldn't get any direct and generic scale that measures the perception of employees, how do they feel about the controlling in organizations. So that is the main reason for making such a research. In fact, we didn't started to develop a measure, but at the end we come up such a result. We collect and we observed all the available literature and try to find out a valid and applicable scale to use for our research. However, we couldn't get anyone. Then we collected all published papers and scales there, and at the end we got 200, more than 250 items that can be used for such a purpose. Therefore, we thought that this will be a good study for measurements validation. That's why this research we did in. I mean, this is the main reason. You got?
Yeah. Okay, doctor. Perfect.
For the second question, yeah, you are right. We try to follow all the steps that we need to make while developing a scale. So we collect and we proceeded from A to Z. Since the time was very limited, I didn't mention all detailed phases here, but we obeyed all the scale development procedures step by step. We checked from 0 to A to Z level, and I tried to give the analysis that we performed here. There are some other things that we didn't mention. I mean, as you said, there are we screened the data and eliminated some responses that have more than 20 or 50% of responses were usual responses were missing, for instance. Also, we eliminated the same 1111 items also. So we cleared up the data. First we cleared, then we check all the analysis, and we come across at the end this scale. This scale is open to progress or development because we just offer this scale. Later on, next researchers may further develop our proposed scale. And this is the science, you know, everyone adds something and it gets into in a good way.
That's perfect, doctor. Doctor, that was wonderful, you know, knowledge sharing with us. We'll be so happy to see your publication. Doctor, don't forget to share your future publications with us and our all members. It was pleasure talking to you. All the best, Dr. Ali. And we'd like to hear from you again, you know, as soon as we get chance. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, so now moving further, do we have our next speaker? Sadaf, are you here? Dr. Sadaf? Okay, not here. Then do we have M. Shahrukh? Mr. M. Shahrukh? Okay, you're not here. Then Nidhi, are you there? Nidhi? Okay, so do we have Dr. Saifur Rahman? Saifur Rahman? Okay, so we don't have all of these participants. Then do we have anyone who would like to present? Do we have any other presenter? I can see 1111 Saina Purkhaje. Are you here to present? Or 28697 also I can see here in participant list. I can also see Badar Figuigui. Do we have anyone who wants to present? Or Pablo Alonso? Okay, so we don't have any more presenters, right? Are you sure, everyone? Everyone, all participants, please, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, so do we have anyone who wants to present? Nazira, you already presented, it's okay. Yeah, I'm talking to others.
I'm just
listening. Yeah, it's okay, Nazira. I'm talking to others, Sinna Purkhaje and 28697, Bader Figuigui. And who is sharing this document? Do we have any presenter here? Okay, so Anusha, are you there? Anusha?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so it seems that, you know, all presenters, they already presented here in this theme.
All presenters are done. So I think we should have to move to main session now.
Yeah, so now you can bring everyone to main session.
Everybody can leave this room. There is a button in the bottom on your right. Leave room.
But don't leave meeting.
Yeah.
Everyone, all participants, just click on that leave meeting. Yeah, when you click on leave room option, you will get two options. Leave breakout room. Don't leave meeting, please. That will waste your time. So then see you all in the main meeting room. Thank you so much, Anusha. So now I'm done.
Yes.
We'll see you in. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Came here to SCT Russell Khema. So now I'm
fantastic. That's
so,
great.
So you are our neighbors of University of Bolton. In front of the University of Bolton, we have HCC.
Yes.
So
We are your neighbor, immediate neighbor.
Please spare some time to visit us.
Definitely, sir. I will pay you a visit very soon. Thank you, sir.
That's how the interaction and collaboration happen. I remember, yeah. I remember one time, it was 2016, we were doing this GCBMS at that time here in Dubai. It was a live session. So one person, he presented an idea of Hyperloop.
Okay.
So Hyperloop was a concept which was getting into this country at that time. And now, you know, like I just talked to him just a week before. I asked him what you do. He said, you remember then when I came to Dubai, I presented the idea about Hyperloop. I said, yes. He said, somebody told me that Dubai is having a Hyperloop. So I contacted the person that I did the research. Why don't you have a look? So he said, I forwarded to the CEO of that unit. And they asked me, why don't you join our company? So since then I am with them.
Wow. You see, that's the power of working.
Yeah, that's a part of.
That's
how the
Dr.
things happen.
Dr. Tahir, you are also in American University of Russell Khema.
No, I'm here in Dubai, American University. Yeah, American University in the Emirates.
Okay, AUE.
AUE, it's been 10 years now. I'm into double digit.
Okay, so you recently got ACSB. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Yeah, just recently we did it.
University and AUE, they were the most recent ones to get
it. Correct. And one university from Russell Khema also.
From Russell Khema also?
Russell Khema or Umm Al Quwain, I'm forgetting, but there are two. Other than us, there is another. Al-Ain University. Yes, you're right. Correct.
We will also get it. SCT will also get it, maybe in a year's time. We are also
maybe in a year. HCT is not a university. We say it's a titanic institution. It's a conglomerate. It's a conglomerate, yeah. So you're gonna get it because the practices you have and the systems and resources, obviously.
Yeah, it's all.
It will be, yeah. It will be easy for you soon. Dr. Azim, I'm sorry. I think you were saying something.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I was just, I think, thinking loud. Nazira is there. Nazira, how can you hear me?
Yes, Dr. Azim.
Yeah, Nazira, how was your presentation? Is it finished or you have?
Nazira presented very well. We attended that session. And it was so detailed and so rigorous. Wonderful, doctor. You know, all have great students. And just at master's level, They seem to be sounding like doctoral students. That one is something amazing. I mean, they don't need.
Yeah, exactly. This is she is a dissertation final semester student in doing MBA with us.
That's great.
And I have honor to teach her one course also during the program.
We had a pleasure of attending her session. She spoke so well on that. I mean, yeah, that's great. It shows quality of. You are in University of Bolton, doctor, right?
Yes, I recently joined.
Okay, so you're just opposite to us, as you were saying. I'll pay you a visit.
Yeah, sure. Most welcome. Most welcome.
Thank you, doctor. And you also can visit us anytime. Whenever you have some free time, just come over. I'll give you a tour.
Yeah, definitely I will come, but I think I have some personality problem. I am a bit afraid from these big buildings.
We have small buildings. Top buildings are bigger, doctor. STTs, Ministry of Education, we have smaller one-story buildings,
Yeah, quite wide, yeah.
Dr. Kumar, in the conference, we have a diversity. So, you invite me, I'll be there.
Come anytime, doctor, without any planning. Plans don't work.
Just in case if you come to Dubai, do let me know. I'll be happy to host you, sir.
Definitely, doctor.
Yeah, great. Like those sites, for example, the Ras Al Khaimah, Al Queen, and all these areas. I always think there is a good life to be there because you can have some time for thinking about yourself and to free walk and so on and so forth.
That is true.
Yeah.
I mean, here it's not concrete jungle. Here between two buildings, you have distance of at least 200 meters. 200 not like those 200 meters full of sand and hills.
Exactly. These three institutions, American University, Ras Al Khaimah, University of Bolton, and HTC, they are just look like one campus.
One campus.
Yeah. Just touching each other. In between, there is only one road, small road. Yeah. So we are adjusting each other. So
I haven't seen in the GCC, not only UAE, in the GCC, any big institution like HCT, those who are having 17 branches. You said I was thinking 7 before, so I was just missing the left side one. So no institution university is having 17 branches. Schools might be.
Yeah, our alumni, when we make list of alumni, it becomes 100,000, more than that. And our teachers, number of teachers, they go in thousands. Nationality of teachers, more than 60 countries, like that.
Fantastic.
So that way, and they work in quite integrated manner. That one is the best part. Like even the courses that were taught here, we will have one system team leader. For example, I'm system team leader for digital marketing. So I have to manage all 17 campuses, exam papers and all that. And that way, every course is monitored across all campuses by one system team leader. So that way they have, even for ACSB, all campuses will be getting it at a time. So
for the ACSB, you said I worked in the team, in a main team for 7 years. It was like from the day we submitted the application till the final presentation and the letter. So in case if you need any advice or suggestion or something, so please feel free to communicate.
I will. Even I was also in ACSB committee in University of Malaysia. I worked in that core committee and we also got it there. And I was there for 2 years. So, and here they have brought the team who are like board members of ACSB and at such level. So they don't need support of teachers like us. They
already have the centrality. But what happens now is in the UAE, the Ministry of Higher Education and the ACSB, they have collaboration. All these 47, 46 business schools, they need to get it. They don't have a choice. There's no more a choice. They'll have to go for that.
Ajman University, now they are starting EQUIS. So EQUIS, you can understand. EQUIS has its own requirement. Now they will take them to ABS ranking publication beyond Scopus and ISI. Now they'll have to go further. So EQUIS is even more challenging.
Correct. EQUIS, we always say some institution, they benchmark the triple crown.
Yeah, so triple crown, we don't have many in GCC. I don't think even one we have.
No
in
one.
GCC, no one.
In GCC, we don't. Probably, I guess in Saudi, we have 1 or 2. Because Saudis, I heard that, some
Okay.
institute. But UAE, almost some are at the edge. Some are applying what you said. They have AMBA and they have a CSB, but this EQUIS, they are trying now. But you know,
Dr.
like any,
Thayer,
yes, sir.
yeah, Dr. Thayer, I have the feelings. If you see, there are institutions all around the world, even the business organizations. We can see two different types. We can draw a line between them. One, who are the system-driven organizations, and others who are need-driven organizations. So this excessive standardization, which I feel is more commercial model than the quality models, they are supporting only the system-driven organizations. And if you have the common needs all around the world, all these institutions, so I think these models are workable. But I believe that every institution has its own requirements, its own needs, its own potential. So we can standardize them. These standardization bodies allow a lot of flexibility in their papers, documents, but they are pulling them towards one direction. The need-driven institutions are the institutions who are the institutions of future, who can take the countries to the futures. Because
right.
as I asked one question in the morning to one of the keynote speakers, that there are two solutions to solve the problem. One is to just adjust to the past, the ideal standard or the successful standard you have experienced in the past, or you just keep it open, be creative, innovative to try to find the solution in future. So I personally is not in favor of these excessive standardizations. We don't need as such. Institutions should be given enough flexibility to draw their own lines. Yes, there should be some control. It should not be free, because in the end we are all we are not error free. But there should not be any compromise on the creativity and innovation. This is what I feel.
Right. Dr. Azim, it's a very good idea. But you know, like the way you are thinking, we have a less percentage of people thinking in this way. The reason being, it is heavy investment requiring activity. So once you know, like what the accreditation bodies and others, they just go with the book. So they ask, okay, step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if you come up with something innovative, they say, okay, this in the checklist, we cannot take it. So go back, modify it, come to our, try to come into our line, and then we will move on. But what you are saying, it's a very good idea. It should be, actually, it should be like that. In education sector.
In that, there is a catch, Dr. Azim, what you are saying. I mean, in that, there are chances of, doing it or not doing it. You might think this way, that actual focus should be on quality. But what if focus is not given on quality? Who will check that? So these bodies, CSP and all that, for each and everything, they only accept your, claims if you submit evidences. Whatever you say, if you say creativity, they say, don't say, show us evidences. If you say achievements, graduate attribute, graduate quality, they show evidences. So by making you collect all type of evidences, they just keep us on track. That is what ACSP is doing. It's not like policing or imposing their document. In ACSP, the good thing is they don't impose anything. Yes, the only thing they impose is their standards. But after that, what submission we make, what documents, what system we have, they give you complete flexibility. But the only thing they want, that there must be evidences of everything, not only students winning awards and getting jobs, but teachers also doing well in form of publications, research awards, patents, grants, collaboration.
I agree.
Like
this is what we call the standards deriving the performance. And when it is evidence-based and all these things, you will agree that the time that we should spend with the students on the cafeteria, in the lawns, that is not available. Students are coming to us. We don't have time because we are just creating the evidence. We are not producing the evidence here.
Yeah, Doctor, I have a colleague in University of Sharjah. She came from Malaysia. Actually, she's our dean from University of Tara, Malaysia. She says that the whole focus is only on publication. Nobody is talking about teaching. What you teach in class, whether you taught it or not, nobody is even monitoring that. Now, you see, a university, if it is not monitoring quality and content of teaching, then what we are doing, we are only collecting evidences for satisfying these accreditation bodies. I mean, yeah, this is the situation in which we are all.
I participated in one forum last month, and I I asked one question: do we need schools? The schools that we have, we don't need school anymore, because these are the, or we need the different shape of school, because we are the beneficiaries. I am the beneficiary, you are the beneficiary. We are born with this system which started 100 to 100, 200 years before. And we are still carrying that system because we cannot think outside that system. This is the problem. So we have to deliver the education in our own ways. We have to allow people, individual students, teachers, everyone to think how the education could be, why we need the buildings, why we need any specific the control. Let one person who is socially declared a qualified person or accepted as qualified, or maybe some criteria we can apply. Let him decide. If he is sitting, let's say, in the desert, in a tent, and he is adopting his own methodology to develop a students, so there is no harm. That is the university himself. So we are actually carrying one model in our hand, and we cannot think beyond that. Whether we are teacher, we are student. I raise a question always: do we need schools? Why don't our children, they go to the Mirdev city center? We have a city center here. And anytime as we go 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock for shopping. So schools, why don't schools are like this? They go with their families and spend some time, acquire their learning needs. So we don't need timetables as such. Let them decide their own timetable.
And what you're saying, doctor,
resources should be available.
You know what you are saying, sometimes we feel such need that, we have a big meeting and then we say, let's take student for field trip outside college. Exactly what you are saying, do they really need schools? In
one discussion with Professor Irving, who was our keynote speaker. So he was discussing that we are working on a solution where one professor is talking while standing in one university, and reports are going to display that lecture into 100 or 200 or 1,000 institutions at one point of time. And then that system will be very intelligent. Students can interact with the report in the class. The questions they are going to ask, from the feeded data, customizedly that report is going to answer those questions. And in case if there will be something that reports are not able to find, the query will be generated to the main person who is sitting behind. He can feed quickly into the reports. So that will be a synchronous teaching, not asynchronous, synchronous teaching in 100 or 1,000 places at one point of time when one person is speaking the topic. I was surprised to know. I said, Professor, you work for IBM, like for 30 years, but you are after the professor's job. Ali?
May I also add something to your discussion?
Yes, sir, Ali, welcome.
Yeah, very interesting discussion. And while you are talking, I just thought that our business, I mean, the teaching business is a person or human-based service. So, like as we mentioned always, for companies, it starts from the hiring the right person for the right position. I think the same is true for the education institutions. If we the right teacher for right position, then there will be both teaching service and other services will be not so difficult for people because they are hired for the right position. Human resources investment is very important, I think, for schools.
Yeah,
That's
that's right.
Yeah.
And Dr. Tahir, one more in continuation of this point. We are in the transformation age, it, from industrial to information and information to, I don't know the new name, maybe it is from clouds
Wisdom.
to the galaxies cloud.
We
Yeah.
always say data get
Yeah.
converted into information, information
Yeah.
into knowledge, and knowledge into wisdom. Probably wisdom
Exactly.
is the last stage.
Yeah. So whenever you are in a transformation, so the best approach is we cannot immediately switch from one model to the other. Sometimes some societies take longer time, let's say 2 decades or so. Some societies immediately transform. So governments should uh, allow both systems. The systems which are strictly standardized systems, and systems which are allowing complete flexibility to the educators, to students, so the market will itself decide, the industry will itself decide, the stakeholders will ultimately decide, and they will come to the what is the right model for that particular society. So because over standardization, as I said, it is commercial model. So the cost of doing the business and cost of providing education become expensive. And actually all these CACSP accredited universities, if they're not government sponsored, it are moving away from the reach of a common man, common student who belongs to a poor class. And majority of the people in the world, they're not very rich to afford the education for their children. And everyone is not the scholarship holder student. Many successful and brilliant people in our human history, they were not A grade students, they were the average students. They cannot qualify
For them,
for the
SCTs,
scholarship.
we don't charge fees from students. It's all government
Yeah,
funded.
it should be funded. Yeah, then it is possible. But how many poor students you are giving scholarship? That is the question.
Of course, we have limited seats. We have limited
Yeah.
seats. Few thousands, not more than that.
Yeah, I'm lucky enough that always
But
I go
Dr.
ahead,
Azim,
sir.
I'm joining back. I'm going
No
to
problem.
T1.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I have the opportunity to spend most of my 30 years of higher education career with the institutions who are catering the needs for the poor class people. And I developed, if I am developed, I reached to this level, I think the experience I had, I earned from that heterogeneous class of people who trained me to develop me to this level. And I was just thinking sometime that if I developed with the one system, one model over the years, maybe I'm not that creative, but I'm thinking myself now. So it is not bad to think about to think other than the rich people. Rich people are also, they're human. It's not their fault they're rich.
It's not
Yeah,
only about
they
poor
are.
and rich. It's not
Exactly.
only poor and rich, like ACSP is, owned by ACSP accreditation. Who has got all top 10 business school? Harvard Business School got it, Sloan has it, London Business School, they all have got it. So it also is a hallmark of excellence, not necessarily, I mean, we cannot prove it that it is only following commercial model, because Harvard Business School got it, London Business School. So it proves that, top B schools of world, they have got it. So more than commercial aspect, here government might be thinking that it is a sign of excellence. For that purpose, they are imposing it, and it is helping. In fact, the structures become better. But then, yes, personally, in my personal opinion, I have also worked in ACSP institution. Most of the time you'll be busy in collecting evidences or creating evidences. You don't get time for those contemplation and thinking out of the box. And as you said, taking student outside and letting them think openly and also applying your own wisdom. Those things don't get time for that. You are right, sir. We agree with that.
I always have the dispute whenever I was fired from any job. So there's only one dispute, that I am not cooperative with the system, because it is in my personality that I try to spend, if I'm in the university for let's say 48 hours, I want to spend 45 hours with the students. I ask them, please don't give me office, don't give me designation, put me in one classroom. That is my office, because that is my role to play. Because students are coming to universities, uh, books they can get at home, Google is available. That association, the time they spend with the another personality of professor and teacher, that interaction should be there. If all these systems they allow, there is no harm. But these systems are taking the faculty away from the students. This is what I feel.
that's 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 the difference in traditional way, and that's the reason in traditional way of teaching, people used to create so many Nobel laureates and all that. But in this mechanized system, I don't think that there will be so many laureates coming from this type of
Yeah,
very much
exactly.
controlled, and like quality controlled and accreditation bodies controlled.
It's
But
skewed. It's clearly skewed system of education in the world.
in the beginning it helps, because what happens, they like Times Higher Education, 60% of weightage they give only for research and publication. So now any institution that is going for Times Higher Education ranking, they have to bring faculty who are great researchers. And you might be aware of that, those who are great faculty are not great researchers, and vice versa.
Yeah, it is. It is.
That way, most of the places now you have many stars joining in who have wonderful publication profile, but then in teaching they may not be like you. I mean, as the thoughts that you are sharing. Yeah, Dr. Tahir, welcome back.
Thank you, sir. I was just listening when you said that good researchers and good teachers, it is
It's my
not necessary.
personal experience.
But, let me tell you, but over the period, I have witnessed the same. So those people, I guess those people who are very, very good researchers, they put their all capabilities to become number one in that field. So they ignore this other part. But, like teaching, teachers and faculty need to be excellent researchers. However, teaching is a main job. Then they need to be teacher first. And, like development and nurturing and capacity building skills, if we have, and then research supports us to convey the contemporary and currency related activities to the people to whom we are responsible to. But if we are only researchers, like sometime the way they have brilliant ideas, but they can't convey. That is the reason if you get opportunity, as we all are into the conferences, sometimes those people who are very, very heavy researchers, like if you listen them with full attention, devotion, and attention, you will be able to get what they're saying. So you will pick the message, which is very important. But those who are teachers by profession, and they have a very small thing, but the way they convey that, that's amazing. So you think that it's a very brilliant idea. Having a combination, it is always difficult. It's not easy. Yeah.
We had 20 students who presented from University of Bolton in this conference, and when we started our discussion, so it is so surprising. Their first time participating in this type of event, and I could read the fear of unknown in their faces when they were preparing it. So, and when they presented, they impressed, and it is beyond my expectation, the quality they produce. So, as Dr. Tahir said, that a researcher, everyone is researcher. Right? Maybe everyone is not he is not mature for a specific system, but he has everything what other people have who are in the system. So when we will bring the people into students to the system, definitely they will also improve, and maybe they will go beyond their the counterparts.
Yes. Dr. Azim, because we have 12 more minutes to go ahead for the next session, I sent you some messages at WhatsApp. There is a just slight change. So your session is session 1, theme 1.
Okay.
Yeah, and the person who requested to switch him to as a first presenter in theme 2.
Second to first.
Correct. So the request is accepted.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. It will be done.
Dr.
Like this.
Tahir and Dr. Azim, can I have your email ID and phone numbers? Okay.
Anytime, sir.
Yeah, sure,
anytime.
Sir. Why not?
You may also share with me, because I'm interested also to be in touch with them.
I can write here.
Yeah.
Fantastic. We can write into the chat box.
Yes, doctor.
This is mine.
Okay. You know what happened? The name is mine and the contact is yours. That's great.
No. No. Your name is with your name.
Okay, let me put it in this way. So we all can be in contact.
Yes. I'll also put my number.
And my email, Dr. Kumar, you can reach me at GCBMS or ABMC, the same email.
Okay, I will do that. I have your WhatsApp number, so I'll be in touch.
Fantastic. So I'm using WhatsApp at the same number, so we can.
You know that Ras Al Khaimah is a resort town, so you are most welcome anytime.
Thank you so much. Probably once in a month I used to go there. That's a nice place, because if you live in Dubai, you have more technology and entertainment facilities and stuff. But if you are interested to see the good weather or greenery, water, you need to go to the countryside. So here we say the countrysides were very nice places. In 2014, I shifted. I tried to come from Malaysia to teach Dubai and go back there to have a good, healthy life. But things didn't work out. After a month time, the commuting just took, a lot of time. Then I decided to come back again.
Okay, so you did that experiment.
Yeah, in 2015, commuting, here travel is, if you get stuck on the road, so you can't reach to, sometime it's very.
I am traveling 200 kilometers every day.
You are a brave man.
From Dubai, you are commuting from Dubai.
From Sharjah to, it's a Dubai-Sharjah border. So it is exact my parking to university parking, 100 kilometers.
Okay.
Wow.
And are you working on Friday? Dr. Muhammad, are you there in your office on Friday?
Yes, we have off days only. My off days is Sunday and Monday. Rest of the days are there.
Okay, so Friday, we work from home on Friday. So I'll see you.
Okay.
I'll meet you on Friday.
Yeah, most welcome. Anytime. Most welcome.
Thank you so much.
Dr. Tahir?
We can leave now.
Go ahead. Please.
Yes, Dr. Rabia. Yes, please.
I don't know. I received a mail. One of my co-presenters hasn't received the emails. She hasn't been receiving the emails. She is in session 1. I am in theme 2, but I am unable to leave this room and go to are you about to do that?
No, we'll begin in 8 minutes.
Fine.
You are talking about the session 6, yes?
Yes. And I would be in team 2. Right. Thank you.
No problem. It's all right.
So
I think yes, sir. Go ahead.
Let me update the student that you are transferred to the first position.
Correct.
And so shall we stay in the meeting?
Yes, sir. Most probably in next 5 minutes, we will start allocating people into different themes. Because there is one presentation, theme 1 for the session 5. It is still going on. It might get over in 2-3 minutes. Yes, sir.
Dr. Tahir, session 6, theme 2, who will be the chair?
Almuddin Abu Bakr is from Sri Lanka. Dr. Abu Bakr.
Mhm.
So Dr. Tahir, that
Yes,
I can
sir.
join again at 5:30 during closing ceremony. Now I'm done.
That's great.
There.
Amalek, in case if you would like to attend any session, it will be our pleasure. And your comments are always very valuable. Some of the young researchers, I remember the session you was there, they really took nice advices.
Pleasure is all mine, doctor. So
Great.
you can let me know. I left my phone number. If you want me for chairing any session, you can just give me a call. I'll join immediately.
Fantastic, sir.
Otherwise,
We request you to join at 5. Probably we might finish like 15 to 20 minutes earlier.
Okay, so 5 o'clock I'll be joining, doctor.
Fantastic.
Thank you so much.
You will find us here.
Thank you.
No
Thank you,
problem.
Dr. Mohammed.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. See you, sir.
See you soon.
So closing ceremony time, I think we should announce 5:30 sharp.
Sir, we will do it by 5:10.
Okay, if it is 5:30, it would be better because those who are traveling, they can reach by that time. Okay.
It seemed that Dr. Tahir had dropped. Maybe
Yes.
the call dropped. Maybe.
Dr. Tahir, I think he's not left. He moved to maybe other room.
Yes, maybe.
Let me check because then I will go to theme 1. Let me check the theme 2.
Yeah, Professor Azim, I think we should, with your permission, we should start allocating people now into session.
Yeah, exactly. Ms. Sanika, can you move to theme 2? Can
Yes,
you
sir,
do it
sure.
by? Can you do it yourself, or you need our help?
Okay, let me check, sir.
Yeah, go to the breakout room, and then theme 2. Theme 2, your slot will be the first one.
Okay, sir.
And
Nehal.
Yeah, Professor Azim, Dr. Azim, yeah, you go to session 1.
Session 1, okay.
Yeah, so that people can come and join. We will keep sending the presenters.
Theme 1 is still not, I think its previous session is going on.
Still, they have 1 more minute. Let me go there and remind them. I'll come back.
Yeah, okay. I'm here meanwhile.
Sure, sir. Wasim, do we have rooms?
Yes, Dr. Tahir.
Yeah, at my screen, rooms are not appearing now. I guess that something happened.
On my screen, the rooms are there, but theme 1 and theme 2. Theme 1 presentations are still going on, I think.
Okay, can you transfer me to theme 1?
Okay. Dr. Azim? Dr. Azim, can you hear me?
Yes, Wasim.
Yes. Dr. Azim, can you take over theme 2 and start the first presentation only?
No.
Then Dr. Ilmuddin, when he joins, he will take it over.
So
Is it
theme
okay?
1, you okay, let me go to theme 2 then.
Okay. Dr. Sohrab, on which room do you want to go to? Okay.
Sir, I was in theme 3. It was economics, and I have already presented my paper.
Okay, that's pretty good. So Dr. Sohrab, do you want to go to theme 1 or 2?
Sir, it's theme 3.
Start her presentation. Shanika, please start your presentation. Ask your student to present. Is he here, Nehal?
Sure, sir. He's there.
Okay, thank you. You can share your screen and you can start.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Hello, I think you are very well. Good.
Yeah,
Good
very
evening, everybody. Good evening. I wish you all the better. Thank you.
Yeah, Mabudi, can you hear me, Mabudi? Okay. Sanika, can you start? Ask Nihar to start.
Yeah, Nihal, can you hear me?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Yes, the screen is visible.
Perfect. All right.
So good afternoon to everyone. I would like to introduce myself first. My name is Sanika. I'm a senior lecturer at University of Baltimore, Russell Kema in computing department. And along with me, I have a student whom I'm guiding for this project. So, I would like to give opportunity to my student only to start presenting the topic. And then meanwhile, if there is any queries, then I will be happy to answer those questions. So Nihal, please go ahead.
Thank you, Zanik.
Thanks.
Hi. Hi, and a very good evening to the respected judges and everyone present here. Last year, Khaleej Times had reported an article based on the increase in bike accidents in UAE amid COVID-19. It was found out that most accidents occurred for delivery men who were in a hurry to deliver the products. I'm pretty sure all of you have seen Talabat and many other delivery services. Thankfully, many of them follow the rules. But what if they haven't? How will the police detect? The people who does not follow the rules and wear helmets? Which brings me to my topic for today, which is automatic helmet detection for bike riders for ensuring road safety using machine learning techniques. So before I begin, I would like to introduce myself. I am Mohammed Nihal from University of Bolton, and I'm studying software engineering. And beside me is my supervisor for the project, which is Ms. Sanika. So now let's get on with some basic introduction. The main safety equipment of motorcycle is the helmet. The helmet protects the motorcyclist against various accidents. Although the helmet use is mandatory in many countries, there are motorcyclists that do not use it or even use it incorrectly. Over the past years, many work have been carried out in traffic analysis, including vehicle detection, helmet detection, and object classification. Intelligent traffic system has been implemented using computer vision algorithms such as background and foreground identification to segment the objects in the scene, and using image descriptors to classify objects. But this computational intelligence algorithms, like for example, the machine learning algorithms are also used to classify objects in the street. So let's move on to the objective. The first objective is to detect the bike on the road. This is done so that in the future, for expanding this project, we can easily use this to identify a specific bike on the road. For like, let's say like a red bike on a given date, like 27th of June, we can easily find that out too using the same technique if we identify the bike. The next objective is to detect if the bike rider has helmet or not. And the next objective is to detect the number plate of the bike using the same technique used for the helmet detection. And the next is actually to detect the violators of the traffic rules using the above mentioned objective 2 and 3 together. So now I would like to move on and explain how does this work. So basically, the roads will have CCTV cameras on them. We are using the CCTV to send footage to a dedicated server. And from the server, each frame will be sent over to a model, an image detection model trained using YOLO v5. So I'll actually also show the real-time implementation or the technical flow of the system. So basically, the CCTV captures a video frame and then inputs this frame into the YOLO model, which indeed does the detection and returns a Boolean result, whether the person is wearing the helmet or not. And then the number plate information is then stored. After the detection, the details are submitted to the respective authorities and the penalty is decided by the authorities. So after the detection is complete, the respective vehicle details is sent to the authority, let's say RTA, and then they get to decide whether about the finding and so on. So now let me show you a little bit about the model. The training technique for the model is called transfer learning. It is better to train a model based on another existing model so that to skip the process of training the model from scratch. This will increase the accuracy of the model immensely. This is actually called as transfer learning. It is, and then this model is trained on 5,000 existing images from darknet. A YOLO v5 uses an algorithm where they pass through the convolutional neural network once. The annotated images that we are using to train the data are given as input to the YOLO v5 model to train for the custom class, that is the bike and the helmet. The weights generated after training are used to load the model. Once this is done, an image is given as input, and like test the model. From this, we can obtain the information regarding the person riding the motorbike, like if the person has a helmet and also the number plate. If the person is not wearing a helmet, we can easily extract the information from the image. This same technique can also be used to extract the detail, to extract the number plate. So how would this system work in the real life? So I'll show you. The footage from the street is captured by the CCTV, and then that is sent to the dedicated server, which extracts the needed details by using method mentioned in the previous slides. And the respective respective information are sent to the appropriate authorities such as RTA, and they get to decide the fines, and they also get to get the data which they need to improve more road safety. So with this, I come to the end of this presentation. Do let me know if you have any questions. Thank you and have a nice day.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Nihal. It was the good model. I have one quick question. When you say we are going to we are using the transformational technique to train to get the model. So it means that you're going to get some other already existing model, right? So
yes,
if you're getting the existing model, so how do you select that which model is relevant or can be helpful? Because you said that model will increase the quality to next level. And then
yes,
if you select the model, so don't you think you have to retrain it for your situation?
So basically how this works is that we select a model. For example, there are many existing models already out there. For example, let's say a model that already identifies bikes.
Mm-hmm.
So we use that model, and this model is used to increase the training because if we train from scratch, the training time will be very high. It will take like months or weeks because to train a model is very like resource expensive. So if we train using another model, it doesn't matter if the model has relevant information to us or not. It will increase the accuracy regardless if it has any relevancy with us or not. It doesn't really matter.
All right. Thank you very much.
Sir, I would like to put some more,
yes, go ahead,
light
Sanika.
on this part. Since the model that Nihal is using, that's YOLO V5. So actually, we already had one more version available that was V4. So V4 has some limitation that has already been rectified, and in V5, it's latest one. So basically, first of all, this model is a model which is meant for object detection. And our task, the problem that we had selected, the student has selected, is mainly the helmet detection as well as the number plate detection, so that if any penalty has been supposed to be given, then it can be given. So it's nothing like more than object detection. So for that, if the study says that we have certain other models available, but YOLO has good features available in it for the object detection, and the programming, the algorithm that it follows, the phases through which it passes. In short, I would like to say, I will not go beyond into those techniques, but the technique that it follow under this model are best suited for detection of any object. And our purpose, our motive is to detect a particular object. So this is the best fit in our situation. This model, I can say.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much, Sanika. Thank you, Nihal.
Thank you, sir.
It was great work.
Thank you.
Best of luck.
Thanks for the opportunity, sir. Thank you so much. And I appreciate your efforts.
Thank you.
Yeah, the session are going very wonderful. As a presenter also, and being the part of this university also, I'd really appreciate your efforts.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Good
you
day,
very
everyone.
much. Yeah, thank you, Sanika. Thank you, Nihal. All right. So our first presenter, formally the first presenter, because Sanika has to leave because she and her the student is in the University of Bolton, and the bus leaving time was 4 o'clock. So she requested me to take it the first session. So thank you, Pablo, for your cooperation. Would you like to start your presentation now?
Yes, sure. First of all, I would like to thank you, especially the organizers, but also the participants for being here this afternoon. Please let me know if you are already seeing my screen.
Yes, we can. Go ahead, sir.
And whether the size of the slides
yeah, it's okay. You can,
okay.
if you want, you can zoom because you have to just increase the size a little bit. Okay. Run the presentation. It will automatically be okay. Okay. You have press Control F5.
Now, I mean, in my screen, I can see
it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. You can continue.
Size.
Yeah, we
okay,
can.
Okay, perfect. Thanks a lot. The topic of my paper and the presentation, it's, I mean, compared to the previous one where actually we were discussing about let's say a prototype or a model. Here, what I would like to discuss is the impact of digital transformation in the financial sector. So of course, I mean, there are many aspects to be considered in this regard. I would like to focus in those that are normally not that well captured by the academia, which are, let's say, the negative externalities of this new phenomenon. In most of the papers, what we find is, let's say, the positive externalities or the positive aspects of this digital transformation. But unfortunately, there is a clear lack of research in, let's say, the negative aspects of this and how to mitigate those. But before starting as such my presentation, I would like to introduce myself. I'm Pablo Alonso Rodriguez, researcher at the UNED, a university based in Madrid, Spain. And there I'm finalizing my PhD in European studies, where I have, let's say, focusing my research in the area of finance and precisely financial innovation. Then I would like to clarify a concept which is very relevant and for sure well known by all of you, which is fintech. At least here in Europe, when we refer to fintech normally, especially by the media, we are referring to, let's say, these new entrants in the financial sector that have as a business model technology, and they are disrupting, let's say, the way the business was conducted in the past by the incumbents. But I would like to go, let's say, beyond that definition, because in reality, if we take the definition designed by the World Bank Group and also the International Monetary Fund, in reality, fintech is something broader. Of course, it entails, let's say, these new participants, but in reality, we should refer to fintech as any, let's say, technological advancements in the area of finance that have a direct implication on the, let's say, on the business model of the firms. Then, as I was mentioning before, this paper focuses very much on these aspects that actually should be further investigated and where the regulators should have a more active role. The first area I would like to briefly touch upon is big data and the use of complex algorithms. So research shows that it has a directly positive impact on, let's say, the existing business practices in the financial area.
Mr. Yes? Pablo, sorry to interrupt. I can see that the slides are not moving.
I don't know.
Okay, no, it's fine. No, it's fine. We are now at slide number 3. Yeah. We are now, we can see the slide 3, potential negative externalities.
Exactly. I will try to use this because I mean, in my screen, I was
Yeah, it
already
shows.
in that one.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You can just
letting me know.
you can unshare and share again. Maybe it will be fine.
Okay, maybe. And now I will try again.
So we can
Now
see
I
now
hope.
slide 3. Yeah.
No, yeah, I hope you can just see it
Can
properly.
can you move to other slides so that we can see whether we can see the change?
Can you? I mean, in reality, this is the most relevant one. So then, I mean, the finance
Okay.
slide is just for taking your questions. So there is no problem if it's still
No.
you
I'm
cannot
saying,
see.
yeah, we cannot. Can you move to some other slides so that we can see whether it is working or not?
This is it not working?
What slide are you showing now?
Now is slide number 2. But
No,
I'm not
slide
sure
slide number 2 or 3.
2.
Yeah, but we see the slide number 3.
Yeah, so I think it's not working. But anyway, I mean,
okay.
In
If you
reality,
want,
my
we
presentation
can.
has 4 slides, so I think we could
If you
continue like
have
this.
shared, if you have shared your slide with us, if you allow, we can run from our side. Should we?
Oh, okay. Yeah, perfectly.
Okay,
So
let me check. Let me check who is assisting us here.
Yeah,
Anyone from the organizers? Technical team is here. Okay, let me just give me a moment, sir.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. I mean, in any event, in reality, my presentation has only 4 slides, and we were already in slide 3. So if you cannot find it in the interest of time, maybe I could project only, let's say, slide 3, and then.
Okay. Meanwhile, you can continue, and then I'm trying to contact the technical team to run it later on.
Okay. No problem. Thanks a lot. So I hope you see the slide as big as I see it, but it seems there are some technical problems. So I was saying, I mean, there are a number of potential negative externalities when we talk about fintech, but here I have focused on 5 of them, starting with the first one, which is the use of big data and complex algorithms in the financial industry. As I was mentioning before, we are mostly, let's say, receiving one side of the information, which is that their use is good for all of us as financial customers, because it reduces the existing biases. But it is also true that as we are taking, let's say, historical data to build this algorithm and also to use big data, existing biases are perpetuated in those algorithms, meaning that actually it is key to audit these algorithms, and the regulators should have, and supervisors, of course, should have access to this design and implementation of the algorithms. Otherwise, as I said, all existing inequalities will be perpetuated. Then another negative externality refers to unemployment. Especially in Europe, we have seen in the last decade that half of the staff in the 90s in the financial industry is not longer working for this industry, mainly because of the increasing competition, and also driven by the massive adoption of digital technologies. And of course, again, regulators should, let's say, have a response to this unemployment in this financial sector. Then we're speaking before about the newcomers into the financial sector, and here I'm not only referring to these small new companies entering into this sector, but also to the so-called GAFAs, who have also, let's say, a growing presence in finance, so Google, Amazon, Facebook, etc. But unfortunately, for the time being, even though in some occasions they are performing similar business to the one doing bad, for instance, banks of asset management or insurance companies. In the past, the regulation is different depending on whether they are incumbents or they are these new big techs entering into the financial sector. And of course, this has a direct implication into the so-called financial stability, especially if incumbents, so the banks, insurance, asset managers, etc., in order to become profitable again, despite of this competitive pressure, move to areas where actually the risks are higher. Then, I mean, it is also important to mention that as in the past, we were physically, let's say, conducting the access into the financial services, cyber attacks and consumer protection risks were not a big concern. But unfortunately, again, with the digital transformation, this is another area to be
Mr. Pablo.
Yes.
Mr. Pablo, sorry to interrupt you again. We are ready to share your slide now. Please unshare from your side so that we can run it from here.
Okay, okay. And then,
Yeah,
anyway,
it's okay.
I was.
No, it's okay. Okay,
yeah?
Usman, please run the slide. So, Mr. Pablo, it is visible. Which slide you want us to show?
It's number 4, but I'm afraid this is not my presentation.
This is not your presentation.
Yeah.
It is 1117, Usman.
All right, just a moment. Wait, just a moment.
We had the similar problem with another presentation. Yeah, perfect. So
this is it. Number 3.
4, number 3, and then we'll move to the 4 later.
I mean, as I said, I was close to the end. So yes, I mean, and then in the interest of time and to allow some questions at the end, another area of concern is the cyber attacks, as I was mentioning, and this is also linked to the final point I would like to tackle, which is the risk of money laundering and illegal activities, also linked to the so-called cryptocurrency. So as you know, I mean, these, I mean, the impact of cryptocurrencies is still to be further analyzed. I mean, I think it's a new phenomenon in the financial sector, but we are already seeing, let's say, a trend that shows that some activities that were, let's say, struggling under the existing financial sector, now they are, let's say, flourishing thanks to the lack of traceability of not the transaction, but of those performing the transaction. So, I mean, with the blockchain technology, we have traceability, but then the problem is for investigators to reach out to the ultimate, let's say, person conducting this activity. And of course, this is used nowadays for, as I said, for money laundering and illegal activities. And this is another area where regulators should in and change the current status quo. So now, I mean, I would like to conclude by saying that acting in this regard in a coordinated fashion is crucial because, of course, the financial sector was already before a global sector, but nowadays with the disruption of these financial technologies, it is even more easy, to access to financial sectors globally. And this has a direct impact not only in incumbents, but also in all of us. So I would like to encourage, more research in this area. And of course, if you have any questions, now we could move to the final slide.
Thank you.
Slide number 4.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Pablo. It was a great work. And mentioning the externalities factor, which is very important. I think it is more than the finance sector, because it is not only finance sector, it is also the other sectors of the economy who can take advantage from this model, these considerations.
Yes, indeed. I mean, this is applicable to, if not all, most of our, actually, the economic sectors. So the digital transformation is affecting not only the financial sector, of course, but many other areas of the economy. And as I said, this is not regional or local specific. This is affecting globally all of us.
Very good, brilliant. Any question by any participant from Mr. Pablo? All right. So thank you very much, Mr. Pablo, for your great presentation.
Thank you.
Now we request Rabia Amir, please share your screen. Rabia is going to talk about what's the first title? I would so it's I'm skipping the first word. Then it's dignity and social justice, the economic of populism in Karmi's memories. I'm sorry, I cannot read it well from my document. Can you speak it by yourself? Thank you, Rabia.
Thank you so much. I really thank the organizers of the conference for giving me an opportunity to do this well-coordinated international conference. And I'm Dr. Rabia Amir, and I'm from National University of Modern Languages, Islamabad, Pakistan. And my background is actually literature. And I don't know whether I'm an anomaly in this because basically we're talking about IT, but I guess this will be, I'm just going to present my,
No, it's okay, it's fine. It's fine because the theme is social science and IT.
Just a minute. Yes, so the title is Bread, Dignity and Social Justice. And the economic of populism in Karmi's memoirs. So the terms are going to be utilized and understood in that aspect, in a literary aspect. So Karmi's memoirs means her narratives, her texts, and her books. I'm just talking about these aspects in her books. I'm seeking those in her books. So social, by the term social justice, let's analyze some of the let's recapitulate these terms. Social justice, as we all know, that it has to be a justice for all. And basically, UN decided in 2007 to mark 20th February annually as the World Social Day of. Just a minute. So the UN decided in 2007 to mark 20th February annually as the World Day of Social Justice under the slogan "Social Justice and a Decent Life for All," because they saw that citizens were being humiliated in both. Can I just take this call? I'm so sorry.
Sure, no problem. Please take
call. Sorry. Assalamu alaikum. जी बात करें। GGG.
You can mute yourself. Yeah. So after Rabia, it is Alka Ascon. Alka, you will be ready in 15 minutes. Then next is your turn.
Okay.
Unmute yourself, Miss Dr. Rabia, please unmute. Thank you. Thank you very much. I hope everything is fine.
Yeah, everything is fine. Actually, that was some official call of that nature that I had to attend it. So I was talking. Yes, I was talking about social justice, and that was this is something in the 21st century, which in 2007 that UN decided to have the Social Justice Day, and where we understand social justice as equal rights of all people. This is just a recapitulation, an opportunity for all human beings without discrimination, as we know, to benefit from economic and social progress in all parts of the world. However, and the organization also stresses on an agreement with 100 heads that social development and social justice are crucial for peace, security within and between states. So going further, do we have social justice around the world? That's a question. That's a rhetorical question that we need to ask. So as we know that we had been under colonialism throughout different parts of the world. So, and colonialism, this is just a recapitulation, and sorry for the distortion. Colonialism, the policy or practice of acquiring full or partial political control over another country, occupying it with settlers and exploiting it economically. So what sort of colonialism are we having here? And imperialism, whereas imperialism is a policy of extending a country's power and influence through diplomacy or military force. So in my earlier works, I theorized a term which was an amalgamation of colonialism, imperialism, my God, despotism and fascism. And imperialism was the term that I coined, and that was a kind of a recolonialism, imperialism, despotism, and fascism all taken together. And to this paper, I am discussing the place of Palestine, and because Karmi is a Palestinian a British writer. So we start to question social justice when we see books of this sort with this kind of a caption, as you can see in the center of the Theft of a Nation. That is a book by William E. Baker. And then the visual narratives in front of you are quite explicitly expressing. Further, if you go further, we find this sort of a scenario in our social media. So how can we have social justice in this kind of a scenario when one population of a place are being snubbed while the others are being given they are going scot-free. So ideological underpinnings of imperialism basically means that that does not cover for any cover statements. It is unscrupulous because it is not bothered by any environmental ethical concern. And then I'm going to explain environmental ethics. Environmental ethics of Palestine is actually a statement of facts about a post-colonial place. This environmental ethic may also be termed as an ethics of resistance against capitalistic expansion and in our contemporary neoliberal economic order. Or in other words, as Noam Chomsky, I would quote Noam Chomsky, environmental ethics can be understood in this sentence of Noam Chomsky, that if it is wrong when they do it, it is wrong when we do it. So basically what Karmi is showing through her memoirs, In Search of Fatima and Palestinian Story, written in 2002, and Return, a Palestinian memoir, what she is doing is she is stating the economics of populism. And what is that? Populism is actually a popular power, which gives us diverse strategies of the mobilization of human understanding about the reality of things, expressed through a tale of personal experiences and in her narratives. So what she shows is a compromised local agency of the indigenous space, issues of marginalization and erasure. So on the left-hand side of this table, what you can see is a kind of a theoretical underpinning. So when we see appropriation in terms of land, culture, and resources as engines of colonialism, she expresses in one of her memoirs it in these words: traditional Arab dishes, she says, like hummus and falafel, are now being called Israeli. Then if we talk about settler colonialism in Palestine, which is fueling an environmentalism due to its amnesic relationship to the wars of dispossession. Now, actually, let me just quickly explain environmentalism and environmental ethic. Environmentalism is a blanket assertion of, that understanding that we are also familiar with, whereas environmental ethic, it actually checks that blinkered environmentalism, which is environmentalism for some, and while the others are being downtrodden. So what she says in her narrative is profusion of Israeli goods on the shelves of almost all and labeled in Hebrew and usually no other language. The Israeli occupation had been there for all their lives. That is the Palestinian folks' lives. Then she also states anti-colonial sentiments and talks about civil rights. And she says, where else? And now she's being critical for the Palestinian Authority. And she says, where else in the world would such a government be, within a government exist, operated as if it were sovereign over its own lands, while in reality subservient to someone else in every sense? So this is how she's expressing. And then when she illustrates, when we have the social, cultural, political, and ecological concerns of the processes of settler colonialisms with relation to the stability of the landscape of ethnic others, she expresses it very beautifully in a very literary way. She says, with its natural beauty, Gaza would have been a paradise, a place for artists and holidaymakers, of fun and relaxation. Only this was not no Riviera, and no one here except perhaps the Israeli settlers was on holiday. The air had a pungent stench of seaweed mixed with raw sewage discharged from the Jewish settlements onto the Gaza and thence into the sea. So the picturesque, or the imagery that she makes us under through her writing is quite explicit. Going further, there is absolutely a need to reevaluate this political, economic, and environmental myths, which sometimes have led to this economic orientalism or economic expansion or an ecological apocalypticism. And therefore, she talks about the wonderful places of Ramallah and other places, and which are being farmlands are being confiscated unjustly. In one of her books, she quotes Moshe Dayan, and I would like to quote here before I end my talk, that this is Moshe Dayan's quote, and she's quoting in her book. She says, "Let us not today fling as accusations." Now, this is Moshe Dayan saying something somewhere in 70s. Who are we to that we should argue against their hatred? For 8 years now, they sit in their refugee camps in Gaza, and therefore before their very eyes, we turn into our homestead, the land and the villages in which they and their forefathers had lived. We are a generation of settlers, and without the steel helmet and the cannons, we cannot plant a tree and build a home. Let us not shrink back when we see the hatred fermenting and filling the lives of hundreds of thousands of Arabs who sit around us. Let us not avert our gaze so that our land shall not slip. This is the fate of our generation, he says, the choice of our life, to be prepared and armed, strong and tough, or otherwise the sword will slip from our fist and our life will be snuffed out. So basically, as Kierkegaard would say it, that there are two ways to be fooled. One is to believe what isn't true. The other is to refuse to believe what is true. So when we talk about social justice, when we talk about environmentalism, we need to take into consideration environmental ethic. I thank you sorry for the disturbance.
It's okay. It's okay.
And
It's okay.
I would like to invite any questions or comments. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Rabia. Any participant has any question, please? Okay, I have one quick question, Dr. Rabia. I am not the student of political science, but is this term that what we have used here, the popularism, and populism, is it some unofficial form of the democracy, or it is the some system itself?
No, it's not a system. It is like populism is like, through popular narrative. And since, it's so rampantly available through social media, so she has put it in her narratives, this form of expression. This is just a form.
But when we are talking about fifth generation war, so
yes.
Don't you think this populism is itself being used or misused?
Yes, it is being misused, but that's why there are things that is what I try to express in this. And this popular slogans of environmentalism, they are being misused. And the fact of the matters are when you look deeper into it, when you research things, you get another picture altogether. Right?
Exactly. So, and can we find some other evidence in the world other than the scenario you have mentioned here about the Gaza? Do we have any in our recent history? Any other part of the world?
Oh yes, my whole research is about Kashmir and Palestine. I'm doing, okay. Yeah. So like I looked into the similarities and the differences of these two realms. Yes.
Right. Exactly. All right. Thank you very much. It's brilliant, and I love to hear you more. And because all social sciences, one way or the other, they are connected with each other.
Yes.
Thank you, Dr. Rabia, for sharing your experience and research. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Now I request Alika, please share your presentation and start your work. Thank you. Alka is going to talk about the feasibility of implementing decentralized wastewater treatment plant for addressing the water consumption issues in the United Arab Emirates communities. Go ahead, Alika.
I hope you can see my screen.
Yes, we can.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Alka Ashokan. I'm currently doing my third year in University of Bolton. I'm here to present on our recent research topic alongside my tutor, Ms. Lakshmi, in the 8th GCMBC,
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
conference. The title of this research is to study on the feasibility of implementing decentralized wastewater treatment plants for addressing the water consumption issue in the United Arab Emirates community. The area of concern was the increase in the water consumption. About half of the annual water production from all sources is used for agriculture and as well as irrigation, whereas other half is used for domestic purposes. The per capita consumption per person per day is about 550 liters, which is very high for a water scarce country like UAE. Most of the domestic purposes and household can be replaced with treated wastewater, which can bring down the per capita consumption of fresh water per person per day. As you can see, there is an increase in gated communities. It's a popular trend in the society currently, and UAE have plenty of upcoming community projects. Therefore, this research is mainly focusing on the water consumption and management of communities in UAE. The aim of the study is to assess the feasibility of implementing decentralized wastewater treatment plant in gated communities for sustainable reuse of treated wastewater. The objectives are as follows: to conduct a literature review on the efficiency of reuse of treated wastewater and the role of decentralized wastewater treatment plant in the sustainable reuse of treated wastewater. To analyze with respect to the water consumption of communities and the wastewater produced. Third is to perform a cost analysis to study the efficiency of implementing decentralized wastewater treatment plant. To summarize the literature review, we have investigated the per capita consumption around the world, and the statistics of UAE were also taken into consideration. Water usage from different sectors and domestic purpose in community were also analyzed. We have checked on the fresh water being used currently for domestic purposes, which can be replaced with treated wastewater, and how efficient it will be on a long run. Therefore, by implementing a decentralized wastewater treatment plant in communities, the fresh water being used up for domestic purposes such as cleaning, landscaping, and many more will be reduced on a large scale. Now, what is decentralized wastewater treatment plant? Decentralized wastewater treatment plant is basically, it's a small individual wastewater facility to provide wastewater treatment services to the residents. In the decentralized wastewater treatment system, wastewater can be treated on site. This system consists of a variety of approaches, that is collecting the wastewater from each residence through pipeline and bringing it to the treatment plant for treating the wastewater through different processes, and then reusing the wastewater. Now, there are different types of decentralized wastewater treatment plants, and some of the systems are sequential batch reactor, membrane bioreactor, activated sludge system, and many more. But here we have considered the two systems, that is moving bed biofilm reactor and reed bed. Now, moving bed biofilm reactor is a commonly used process in a treatment plant because it has advantages over the other systems, such as there is no recirculation needed, no bulking problems will be occurred, it is a self-controlling process, and it is efficient enough. Reed bed is another popular system, which is currently a sustainable alternative. It requires zero energy, it's carbon neutral, orderless and growing systems are used, and it doesn't clog. As you can see, this is the different carbon footprint of MBR, that is membrane bioreactor, SBR sequential batch reactor, moving bed bioreactor, as we have discussed already, and activated sludge process. To summarize the methodology, this study is basically an inductive research approach, because though the decentralized wastewater plant is commonly used, the treated water is not used to its potential, as most of it is disposed to creek or sea. So we here are trying to use the treated wastewater efficiently without disposing it to the creek or the sea. So it's an inductive research. And the data collection approach is case study and survey. The research method is both qualitative and quantitative. For this case study, we took a residential community in Ras Al Khaimah and evaluated the water consumption in that community. Along with that, we have evaluated the amount of wastewater produced in the same, as well as the amount of water required for landscaping. Cleaning purposes were also taken into account for replacing it with the treated wastewater. As you can see, after evaluating all of these, we got a standard treatment plant ROI calculation for STP of 50 cubic meter per day calculation. As you can see here, we'll be getting the payback period is around 4.5 years after implementing the treatment plant, and the annual saving after treating the plant will be around 158,500. Now, what do we do with this treated wastewater? We'll be using this treated wastewater, which we get from the treatment plant, for domestic purposes in the same community, for landscaping, cleaning, and for chillers for air conditioning. To conclude all of this, the objectives are answered. The implementation of a decentralized wastewater treatment plant will ensure management of water in the community in a small scale. Major types we have selected is the MBBR, that is the moving bed bioreactor, and reed bed, as discussed before. The quality of treated wastewater is RO quality. This can reduce the amount of fresh water being used up in the communities for landscaping, cleaning, and many more purposes. To analyze the data, we have done the water consumption for landscaping, cleaning, and some other domestic purposes were calculated. A considerable amount of potable water is used for non-drinking purposes, such as landscaping, already mentioned before. This method is a cost-effective and economical on a long run. Therefore, it's preferable. The treated water is effectively used for non-drinking purposes in the community. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Alka. Just a moment. Thank you very much. It was a good presentation. Of course, I'm not a subject specialist in this particular field, but I can understand your research methodology. It was very well defined. Yeah. So any question from any participant about this?
Yeah, Dr. Aslin, if you allow me, can I ask?
Yes, please, sir. Go ahead.
It's a suggestion, Alka. Since you know you all are in early stage of research, there are two things that I would like to add. Number one, that when you introduce your research, you need to also talk about research gaps. You see, Alka, what happens? We see some problem happening around us, water problem or whatever. That one is not a research problem. It can be a practical business problem, or it can be applied research and so on. In academic research, we need to have 4 types of gaps. Always remember that. Number one is
types of gaps.
Yeah, 4 types of gaps. Then only you can do research if these 4 types of gaps are available. Number one is theoretical gap. Theoretical gap is some research paper of last 3 years only must have stated it in their future research direction that there is a need to conduct study on such and such topic. Then we say that there is theoretical gap. This is one thing. Second is practical gap. The problems that you are stating, it must be supported by some publication of government or some business or online magazine or something. They should also talk about kind of that. water raised as a problem. So that becomes practical gap. Then the third one is locational gap. Why you want to study it in UAE and why in Ras Al Khaimah? That also needs to be justified with some research paper or even some kind of publication by government or any business magazine or any kind of secondary data. That's fine. But
yeah,
we say
all of this is mentioned detail in my dissertation topic. So.
Very good, very good. Very good.
And
so I know definitely it will be there.
And also the fourth one, go ahead.
And the fourth one is methodological gap. Why qualitative and why quantitative? And you know, coming to that, you know, when we do qualitative, when we want to explore something new, like if you want to know why tree is green, then we cannot do quantitative research. Then we have to go to experts and do a rigorous interview. Then we get to know the answer. So why qualitative or why quantitative or why mixed? When you say qualitative and quantitative, then instead of using that term, we used mixed methodology. That one is a research jargon protocol. Okay. And then the second thing I'll tell you, Alka, just a small 1 minute more I'll take. Case study. Case study is not a data collection method. Case study is a type of qualitative research. It's a qualitative research method. In qualitative research, we have 5 major types, though there are many types, but the major types are 5. One is grounded theory, second is phenomenology, third is case study, fourth is ethnography, and fifth is narrative. So case study is one of the qualitative research methods, and when we choose case study term, then you have to be very careful, because in case study, whatever method we choose under qualitative research, we have to choose the expert. We have to read the expert of methodology. So for case study, the methodology expert is Yin, Y-I-N, Yin. So whatever we do for data collection, analysis, and everything reporting, we have to follow Yin's method or any case expert method. So these things you take care of, and that will be, what you are doing is very useful research. In fact, that one is so useful. I also in Ras Al Khaimah, I stay here, so I can understand that. So useful. Please complete that research, Alka.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much for great feedback, and I will endorse what
It was really helpful, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. So literature view, it is this is what shows the rigor in your work. More you try to read last 2-3 research papers and see the end of the there's each research paper whose work was used in that paper. And also, if you go to search that paper in Google Scholar, and 3, who has cited this paper. So you can go in the past, the future, in the span of 2 to 3 years, you can have enough information about the differences in approaches on the same concept, the agreement, disagreement on the same concept, and as Doctor said, you can very clearly come up with one of the 4 gaps. So that's great. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Dr. Kumar. It is great advice to our students as well. All right. Thank you very much. Any other question?
Thank you.
Any other question? Okay, let's move to the next presenter. By the way, our closing ceremony will start at 5:30. So we'll try to finish before that. Now, I request Mr. Ahmed Abatakur. Please share your screen slides and start your presentation. And his topic is determining the feasibility of using reclaimed water in the construction industry. Mr. Ahmed, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, please start.
Hope you can see my screen.
We can, screen is not yet shared. You can use small arrow green color at the bottom of your screen to share your screen. Yes, something is coming. Yes, no, yes, we can see now. Thank you very much.
So, my name is Ahmed Abatakur. Together with my tutor, Ms. Lakshmi. I'm from University of Bolton, final year civil engineering department. My topic for today is to determine the feasibility of using reclaimed water in construction industry in UAE. UAE has one of the highest per capita water consumption. It actually has almost about 550 liters per day of water consumption in UAE, due to UAE being a very good business place and also a comfortable place for tourists. So due to this issue, the government has been forced to rely on water desalination. The local focus has shifted to the potential reuse of wastewater as a result of the water scarcity situation. So our aim is to study the feasibility of using treated wastewater in UAE construction industry. And also the objectives are to carry out literature review, to study the development in using treated wastewater reuse in construction, to analyze the strength parameters of modified concrete using laboratory tests, and also to assess the quality of water in construction and to compare it with available treated wastewater. Significance of treated water reuse, as I've explained before, due to the scarcity challenges, due to UAE being one of the highest per capita water consumers of 550 liters. One way to tackle the scarcity challenge is by treating wastewater. So this treated wastewater is produced with high quality, which qualifies it to be used for a variety of reasons. It can be used for irrigation purposes, it can be used for landscaping, it can be used for toilet flushing, it can be used to wash cars, so many reasons. It can be used for a variety of reasons. So it can be a very beneficial, for the environment. And one more reason is that it reduces water demand. Water consumption in construction industry. Replacing treated wastewater for fresh water is expected to have an annual saving of around 8 million cubic meters of fresh water used for drinking purposes. And also approximately 1 billion tons of water are consumed by the concrete industry each year on a global scale, which is a very high amount of consumption. So this brings us to research methodology. The research problem is UAE produces a large quantity of treated effluent, of which a large percentage is disposed of to natural water bodies instead of being used efficiently. The study focuses into the reuse of treated wastewater in concrete from one of the main wastewater plants in UAE. And the data collection approach is, the data is going to be collected in lab. Lab tests will be conducted to analyze the concrete strength parameters. And the research method is also qualitative and quantitative analysis are being used in this research method, which brings us to data collection and analysis. C25 concrete is being considered for this particular lab test. Plain concrete plus curing with normal water, plain concrete plus curing with treated wastewater. Water is replaced with treated wastewater plus curing with normal water are all considered. Water is replaced with treated wastewater and also curing with normal water. All these are considered in order to find the best possible option in order to reduce the cost aspects, and also for this treated wastewater to be replaced with the normal water being used in the construction industry. So types of tests to be conducted: slump test, compressive strength test, 28 days, structural strength test, and also split tensile strength tests are to be conducted in the lab. So as we can see, these are some of the tests which were done in the lab. As per the observations from the lab, it was found out that as we can see, the physical parts of the concrete, concrete actually formed a kind of whitish color due to, this is because of the biocarbonates being present in this treated wastewater. So these are the results of the compressive strength test of 7 days, which shows that there isn't much difference between the treated wastewater being replaced and also when you compare it to the normal water. That's the 7 days test, and this is the 28 days compressive tests. So as the curing period increases, the compressive strength of concrete is also increasing, irrespective of what water was being used. As we can see, this is a very good example. The compressive strength of 7 days, as you can see, there's a bit of difference between the 7 days and the 28 days test, almost 10 millimeters difference, millimeter cube. Concrete cured with treated wastewater appears to have higher compressive strength, as we can see in the previous slide. Concrete replaced with treated wastewater actually had higher compressive strength than the normal plain concrete. And also, water absorption of concrete is not affected when wastewater was being used. And as I've explained before, there's a change in physical appearance which was observed. It formed, the concrete formed kind of whitish color in the above picture which was being shown. And this, as we can see, it's almost the same as the previous slide. In this part, as you can see, plain concrete curing with treated wastewater actually had more compressive strength. And also in this graph also, it shows concrete replaced with treated wastewater, because curing with treated wastewater had more compressive strength. So the standards of the UAE were being followed. As we can see, the standard requirements for concrete, UAE is to be within the pH ranges from 7 to 9, and with soluble solid no more than 200 milligrams of TDS, 600 milligrams per liter. Chlorides not more than 500 milligrams. Sulfates also no more than 1,000 milligrams of biocarbonates. Treated wastewater parameters of the sample collected from the treatment plant, the pH was actually ranging with the standard requirements. The pH was 6.9. TDS was around 1,649 milligrams per liter. Sulfates was 199 milligram per liter. Salinity and bicarbonates were not tested in plant. So this brings us to our conclusion. The results from the lab clearly shows that there is a slight higher strength of concrete with curing and mixing with treated wastewater than normal water. which indicates that there's a possibility of using it successfully in the future. As I've explained before, due to biocarbonates being present in the treated wastewater, there can be a decrease in permeability in concrete. It was also found to form white lime deposits on the sample, as I've shown before. Higher salinity levels can affect the durability of the concrete. Further treatment can be done to reduce biocarbonates and salinity levels. And also the future scope is to determine the bicarbonates and salinity values, and also to study the cost aspects of further treatment. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ahmed. It was great work. One quick question: that these findings, do you think only applicable for UAE or the other areas where temperature is not very high?
Sorry, can you come again?
Yeah, do you think these findings, what you have mentioned, it is only workable for UAE?
It can be used worldwide, actually.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, it's a very good project which can be used for mostly for all these countries that have water scarcity issues.
All right.
Yeah,
thank you. Thank you. Any question? Any participant want to ask question? Thank you, Ahmed. Thank you very much, and thank you very much to your supervisors who did the great job. Now I request Mr. Rafid Ahmed, please, Ahmed, you please unshare your screen, and then Mr. Rafid, please share your screen and run the slides. Rafid is going to talk about the study of assessment of the viability of coal roofs across the UAE.
Hi, is my voice audible?
Yes, we can.
Hi.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll just share my screen. Is it visible?
Yes, we can see. It's nice.
Okay, do I start?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Okay, fine. Good evening, everyone. My name is Rafid Ahmed, and I'm currently in the third year of my civil engineering degree in the University of Bolton, Ras Al Khaimah. The topic I've chosen for my dissertation is to test the viability of cool roofs across the UAE. Now, the Middle East is well known for its high temperatures, which leads to air conditioners constantly being used around the UAE. Combined with the urban heat islands issue, the climate is very hot. Having ACs turned on is a huge contributing factor to the energy consumption, and it reflects quite well in the electricity bill. There have already been various efforts to deal with this issue, sustainability regulations, new insulation systems, but they still seem to not be enough. However, cool roofing is not as popular in the UAE. Other countries, such as Bahrain, have already begun implementing it to deal with the heat. And given the fact that their climatic conditions are quite similar to the UAE, it would be worth to look into the kind of efficiency that cool roofs have to offer, which would enable us to judge the potential of this kind of technology. If temperatures could be kept lower through cool roofing, then AC usage would probably decrease a lot. This would move the UAE one step closer to reducing their energy consumption per capita. So with that, the aim for my dissertation is as follows: testing the efficiency of cool roofing to determine if it can be implemented around the UAE. To achieve this aim, there are 3 objectives that need to be completed by the end of my dissertation. The first step involves a thorough research and conceptual understanding of cool roofing, followed by an experimental case study on a building in the UAE, as well as a comparison between all the data that we have gathered, combined with a survey, as well as comparisons of rates and acceptances. So the summary of literature is where I will try to provide a deeper understanding of the research problem. A physiology professor at the University of Arizona stated that the temperature at which humans would be at an optimum level of comfort generally rests around 21 degrees Celsius, while the average temperature in the UAE easily exceeds 35 degrees in the summer on average. That's 14 degrees more than what it should be in a way. Combined with the fact that residential areas are continuously rising here, more and more people are occupying those spaces. This increase in human activity is what contributes to the urban heat islands issue, which causes this already hot climate to become even hotter. Air conditioners are the go-to when keeping our indoor spaces cooler. However, the efficiency that they offer isn't really enough because we expend way too much energy to keep them active, and this effectively harms the environment in the long run. Fortunately, the country is well aware of this, and they have taken many steps to deal with the issue, such as the sustainability regulations, which I hope you all can see. These issues involve generally dealing with improvements in the green building and the thermal insulation methods. So the insulation strategies, they are the best possible ways to keep the heat out of our houses. And in fact, we've come up with a lot of them over the years. First of all, energy efficient envelopes have produced significant improvements in ventilation systems, which also reduce a lot of energy consumption. Integrated control systems have also supported this by focusing primarily on lighting and HVAC. Passive cooling strategies comprise of a lot of methods, such as double glazing, natural ventilation, shading devices, green roofing. The list is quite long. Parabolic trough collectors offer more efficiency through solar energy, which is renewable. This also reduces energy consumption through fossil fuels. Now, cool roofing is another one of these strategies which reduce indoor temperatures as well. The difference between cool roofing and all the other methods I've mentioned in the previous slide is that all those methods are already being used in the UAE, whereas cool roofing is used, but its use is not as prevalent as when compared to the other insulation systems. In fact, even mandates have been issued in Bahrain, which require rooftop surfaces to have a minimum solar reflectance value of 0.65 and a thermal emittance value of 0.75. Most conventional rooftops do not meet this criteria. So what is a cool roof? The main difference between a typical roof surface when compared to a cool roof surface is that typical roofs mainly absorb a lot of the heat, whereas cool roofs reflect them instead, meaning that the overall solar radiation penetrating through the surface is greatly reduced. The lesser the heat, the lesser the indoor temperature, which results in a reduced AC usage and so a net decrease in the energy consumption. For the summary of the methodology, the research approach is deductive because similar research and case studies have already been conducted around the world. The data collection approach is through a case study conducted on a building in Al Quwain, UAE. The research method is quantitative because through the experimental study, we're hoping to get quantifiable data that can be analyzed and compared in order to come to a conclusion. It is also qualitative because a survey will be conducted to gain more insight into the current status of cool roof implementation, as well as the acceptance in the UAE. As for the experimental study, to further elaborate on the study, a sample area of a rooftop was chosen for a 3-month experimental study, where half the surface was painted with CR coating, whereas the other half was left as is. As you can see, these are the images of the rooftops, as well as the sensors and the data loggers, which are being used to track the changes in the values. The environmental parameters that are being recorded for the case study are surface temperatures, indoor temperatures, heat flux, and the U value. The abstract had mentioned that 1 month of this study has already elapsed. This chart here shows the changes recorded in just the surface temperatures between these two surfaces in just 3 days. The layer without coating has an average drop of 1 degree, which is quite a considerable reduction in temperature, showing that this technology can already yield positive results. For the recommendations, here are just a few ways in which the experiment could have been improved. Firstly, the time period chosen was in the winter, back when temperatures were lower than the average. If conducted in the summer, the experiment would have more data. Therefore, we are extending our research until the summer to get additional results. If we had more sensors on both sides of the roof, we would have more additional data, which would help our conclusions. Now, due to our 3-month duration, we couldn't be as flexible with the approaches we could have taken with the roof. Although the results are practical, nonetheless, the impact of external factors such as dust interfering with the efficiency of cool roofing could not be well explored. Lastly, if there were information regarding the energy usage of the building without cool roofing, more comparisons could have been done. Now, if I could just go back to the objectives for a bit. So these were the three objectives to achieve our aim. The first objective involved a thorough research, which I had explained through the summary of literature. The second objective was to conduct a case study, which has already begun and is progressing well without any issues whatsoever. The third objective was a comparison. A small 3-day comparison has already been shown today. Once the entire experiment is complete, we'll have a more concrete comparison to test the efficiency of cool roofs. This shows that the aim of our dissertation is well within reach. Now, to conclude, why cool roofs? There isn't much of a difference in the price between a traditional roof and the cool roof. And even if there is, the extra rates would be worth the investment as they would have a payback period because the overall energy consumption would decrease as the temperatures would be lower. Then they're extremely easy to install and they can be applied to any building that has already been constructed. And lastly, they provide long-term benefits. If the paint even slightly dries off, having a repaint is very affordable. If cool roof usage expands in the UAE, energy consumption will vastly be reduced, which can help contribute to a more sustainable future. And that ends my presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Rafad. It was a very good presentation, and I really appreciate your efforts. So any question from any participant? I think I would say that Dr. Ahmad comments should be taken to you as well, what he has given to Alka. Some adjustment you have to do.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Doctor, yes, please go ahead.
Is it available in the market, easily available in the market? Like, I am coming from Pakistan, so I'm asking you. Yeah. Or is it only available in UAE?
Hello, sorry, I disconnected. Could you ask the question again?
Okay, Dr.
Yeah,
Rabia,
I said that is it available elsewhere also? I come from Pakistan.
I'm not sure about Pakistan, but there were 2 experiments conducted in India. There has been 3 in Greece, specifically in Athens, and even China is exploring it quite a bit. So it is out there.
It's not available in the market, that means? Is that so?
No. In the market for Pakistan, I'm not sure. But in general, I think it is available. Okay. India has it. That's what I'm sure of.
Then you may do something about it.
If it is available in market anywhere of the world, so definitely in Pakistan it could be. So it was great. Yeah, it was great. We can find this product. It's very easy nowadays to cite the products. Dr. Ahmad, you would like to say something?
Yes, just a small thing. Thank you for this presentation, actually. And second,
thank you very much.
How this will connect it with the sustainability. Nowadays, there is a very important concept. It's called the sustainability, and we save our environment as much as we can. So my question: how this product will connected with the sustainability?
So mainly with how normal roofs are used, temperatures would generally be dealt with by using air conditioners, right? So that consumes a lot of the fossil fuels, which are non-renewable. So the goal with cool roofing is that it indirectly benefits sustainability in the sense that because our rooms will naturally be cooler, we'll just be using the AC a lot less, which would lead to a lesser consumption in the fossil fuels. So it's a little bit, but if it gets added in the long run, we can gradually save up a lot of energy that can be used for the future. It's more of a indirect approach rather than directly tackling it head on by saying that, oh, we have this material that will deal with it.
Yeah,
thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And don't forget to take Dr. Kumar's comments to Alka. Dr. Kumar, you want to say something?
I have them noted down. All the gaps, yes.
See, then everyone, even Alka and Ahmad, from everyone, I have a question. That what do you do with your research output? You all have come up with such a wonderful research result, and the entire thing that you have developed, what we saw right now, they are so very useful. As you saw, Dr. Rabia, she was asking whether it's available there. Everyone needs this kind of things. So what is your plan for doing with this research? It's finished after you submit it to your college. You are going to publish it somewhere.
I think in my case, I think I'm hoping to take this to a more journal-ish approach.
Yeah, I would like to add. I would like to give the answer on behalf of Imad here to Dr. Kumar. We have recently started our Wink Business Incubator in the center, where we are developing our young students for the business startup. And definitely after this presentation, I will catch tomorrow to Rafid in the university, and I will invite him to join my business incubator project.
Oh, I'd be glad. It's great for me.
Yeah, I have written, if you see the chat, in that I have written one website. Have a look at that. It's authoria.com. Authoria.com. Okay, in here you have several thousands of this type of research already put there. Many authors, they don't go to journals. They put their research work here, and here also several thousand citations come. And actually you are contributing to society. You are helping, others, other researchers, everyone. So do not let your research disappear in college repository and all that. If you are not planning to publish it in journal, then all of you must be uploading your paper, of course, with your supervisor name, who has spent so much time in this website. And you will see that if there are many journals, they invite authors to submit to their journal after seeing it in authoria.com. So use
very good advice, and in the purpose of bringing students with new idea is also to just to get some patent here, because now this is his product, because it has been presented here. No one can steal your, but Dr. Kumar idea is perfect, that you have to take it to the next level academically as well as from the applied context. Thank you very much, all the participants. We have one question in the chat box about the data collection, and which has already been addressed. So now we are quickly moving to the main hall, where we have brief closing ceremony and where we are going to say thanks to all the great participants. So let's move to the hall. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Imad and other students, they have Rafid and other students they presented. They have their own ideas which should be encouraged to convert into a business model. So I'm just thinking, because you are here, Dr. Imad is here, and we have the representation from the other university like Namal University, Pakistan. So why don't we work together and create one global platform, sort of that business incubator, where we encourage all our students with the brilliant ideas for the startup businesses and help the community overall. Because these young people, I don't want to have them after completing their education and standing in the crowd. They should stand out. Like, even if they are not interested to start their businesses, at least that entrepreneurial mindset will be born. And I always ask my students that when you will be sitting on the interview table, so it is not the employer who is deciding you to hire. It's you are going to decide whether I should work here or not. So you have to tell the employer that if you will not hire me, it means you are going to lose that
Dr. Azim,
opportunity. Yeah, yes,
Dr.
yes,
Azim,
sir.
if you kindly allow me, sir, because it's 5:32,
Yeah,
so we
okay.
can wait for 2 more minutes. But till that time, let me request our friends, in case if it is possible for you to turn on your camera, because it's a closing session, it will not take more than 10 minutes. So that will be very good.
Yeah, please turn on all the cameras. Yeah.
And we will begin exact at 5:35. Will it be okay, Dr. Azim? Those people might be joining at that time, those who are traveling back to home. Okay, good. And in case if somebody would like to say something, so we have 2 minutes, you can just talk and then we'll begin the closing session.
Yeah,
Can I
Dr.
take
Azim,
1 minute from those 2 minutes? Can I take 1 minute from those 2 minutes? So just a continuation for Dr. Azim speech. Yeah, it will be wonderful idea, and really, okay, I would love, okay, to work on this project. This is just very, very brief because we don't have time. Second point, really, this is the second great day for us for today's conference. Personally, I learned a lot. Okay, we have very fantastic management for this conference. Dr. Tahir, Dr. Azim as well, really, okay, wonderful. The IT technology team as well, they work well on this one. Thank you so much, really, and really, I'm looking for the to be with the number 9. Okay, next year. Okay, hopefully we'll get together again. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Anybody really else? Was. Even I would also like to support, Dr. Imad. It was a wonderful performance. It was a great, conference, Doctor. We all learned so many things. Thank you to Dr. Azim and thank you, Dr. Tahir. It was a pleasure being part of your conference. We look forward to having more opportunities like this.
Welcome, sir. Thank you very much. We have still 1 more minute in case if somebody would like to talk.
Yeah.
Yes, go ahead,
please.
I must thank everyone for letting me be a part of it. It was a wonderful experience, very nicely, very smoothly done. And I'm just inspired, and a lot of ideas are coming to my mind. And I think such activities should continue. And especially I thank now pandemic that because of this distant learning, we have come together. I mean, that is the best outcome after this pandemic, that we can interact with each other so easily. And this has become a norm. So thank you very much. I have more sessions, and all the best for the next session.
Thank you very much. As per promise, Dr. Azim, it's 5:35. With your permission, I just would like to begin now. Like closing is always difficult. Opening, like everything is in schedule. You can come up with the plan, you know what to say, what not to say. Closing, it's always very hard. And I know it was very hard 2 days for majority of those people who were attending sessions regularly. I'm thankful to University of Baltimore, represented by Dr. Azim and their other colleagues for their collaboration. On behalf of Charles Martin, the patron of conference, and the entire organizing team, which is led by Wasim and Trey Farag. They have done a wonderful job. Behind these 2 days event, there's a struggle of 1 year. So they were working 1 year regularly. Because, if you look over the keynote speakers, then those 8 guys probably, it becomes very hard to get appointment from these kind of people. And we always try to bring top of the top line people who have contributed, and not only at the governance level of the countries and industries, but also they contributed in the research. And I'm also thankful to the research journals who are collaborating with us, and the session chairs, speakers, and those people who help you completing your job. Because, like those who are having family, kids, it's not easy to do a write-up once you are at home. And universities, I know majority of universities, they give a lot of teaching assignments. We can't spare days, weeks to do the data collection analysis wherever it is required. We started this journey in 2006, and till now, the ABMC has done 24 events. We did these events before COVID, we have done those events into 10 different countries. But since 2.5 years, we are online. And I hope that we are going back to the hybrid mode now, mix of online and mix of with the traditional mechanism. And in this year, ABMC and Bolton are going to offer 2 more events, which will be hybrid, and those events will be announced. Those people who have shown a consent to get certificates and to get their papers published, Conference Secretariat is going to communicate to you from day after tomorrow. Please give them 1 day leave. Otherwise, if you are in hurry, I can request them to start beginning work after this evening. But I'm worried they might leave me if I put this stress on them. This is from my side, and I'm so delighted to see all of you guys. Some of people who are attending conferences, I remember the first one once we did in Dubai. Dubai was in 2014-15, and till that time they are attending every year regularly. Wonderful. So like their presence really made us feel comfortable and happy. Now for the closing remarks, I would like to give platform to Dr. Azim. Dr. Azim is again, I would like to introduce, he served as co-chair and is serving as a director at the Bolton University Ras Al Khaimah campus.
Thank you, Dr. Tahir. Thank you very much for the great participation from all the participants all around the world. And especially as Dr. Tahir mentioned, the participation of the keynote speakers and their speeches, their research work was highly appreciated. And we are getting very good feedback. And in fact, the representation from all around the world is considered as an honor to the University of Bolton and ABMC. Because you have accepted our request and you have chosen us our platform to share your learning experiences and your research. And my special thanks to the faculty of University of Bolton, especially who supervised the young students, 20 young researchers who presented here. And it was really surprising for me. My expectation was a little bit lower. But they surprised me, and they proved that they are good researchers and they have the potential to go to the higher next level. I would also like to say thanks to the backend team, Mr. Wasim and his technical staff who made all this possible, and we organized this event very smoothly without any trouble and problem. And in the end, special thanks to the co-host, Dr. Tahir. We are friends for the last many years. And of course, I will not say I'm only learning from him. I think we both are learning from each other. And special thanks to Dr. Tahir for bringing ABMC MS into this conference, because when we take ABMC into this decision for the international conference, so it is not another partner in the event, but we need, because we need an experienced partner who can bring the experience with themselves. And the great success that we are claiming today, it is, I think, major contribution is by the Dr. Tahir and his team. So thank you very much, all. Thank you very much for your participation, for your encouragement and encouraging remarks. All those who, in any capacity, contribute in this conference, I am really thankful. And on the behalf of University of Bolton, I am again very thankful to you for your presence. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Azim. Now I would like to call Wasim to speak for 1 minute, because we have achieved the milestone of 1,000 papers presentations after this GCBMS, the one we just finishing now. So 1,007 total papers are presented till now in all the events of GCBMS. Wasim?
Thank you, Dr. Tahir. Thank you very much, everyone. Firstly, I would like to start with Dr. Tahir. Thank you very much for providing me the opportunity to learn, and Dr. Azim for being always there. So whenever I wanted to message him and ask anything from him, he's always there. Tahir is there also. Then I want to thank University of Bolton. Thanks ABMC. And yes, Dr. Tahir has rightly identified it's a work of like 1 year. It takes courage and nights and nights. So eventually when it's over, this day comes, it's like, now what should I do? I don't know. So like after 1 year. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, after the conference session, we have a special session for your team, the administration team, Wasim. Good job. Excellent. Really.
Thank you, Dr.
And the session is open. Anybody can say anything, whatever you like. And if there is something you want us to improve, if you want to tell us here, that's great. Otherwise, you can send us email. We will consider that improvement factor in the coming sessions. Those people who are here, if they can kindly turn on their cameras just for the pictorial purpose, that will be very good.
Doctor, I really would like to thank all of you for organizing this conference. It was really very successful and very wonderful. We have learned a lot of things. And we hope that in the future, we can also join another conferences with you.
In the future, Dr. Jalal, you are going to stand with us shoulder by shoulder.
Yes.
Those who are speaking, we have assignment for them.
Yes, sure.
Thank you so much.
I also will be very delighted in the future if you would like to invite me to talk about research, because I'm also conducting free webinars to some universities about research citations, how to improve citations, how to select the right journals, not the commercial ones, and also how to write a good paper, what the reviewers are looking for. Because I have been reviewing for many journals, especially the journals under top publishers with impact factor. So I will be very delighted to give a talk or participate or even share some sessions for future conferences.
Sure, sir. Thank you very much for volunteering this one. Definitely we'll be in touch with you.
Thank you very much, Doctor.
I think this is what we were talking. I remember Dr. Tahir, that we deliberately excluded the training part in the conference this year because of the running academic year at the same time. As I agreed with Dr. Jalil, definitely all conferences, we always have parallel training sessions are going, and especially sessions on the research methods and research methodologies and literature review. It is very relevant. Definitely we'll consider this for the coming sessions.
Sure, great. Anybody else? If no one, then formally we are done with the session.
Yeah, one announcement, Dr. Tahir, if you can make about the best research, if we have worked out or you are going to announce, because one of the participants asked the question.
Correct. Best research paper award will be given after 7 days because we need to review once more time. And the candidates will be informed in case if there are multiple. And any paper which is going to be the best one will be published into the journal without any charges. Conference team, what we say, the conference secretariat is going to bear the logistics and financial support for that.
Yes, I know that participants have given the opportunity to choose between the Scopus and the blind peer review, double peer review journals, which is free. So if you can just give a brief to the researchers that how this proceeding will be published and where they can access it, and if they want to cite to their contribution, how they can.
Yes, that's a good question, good point. All 131 papers which are added into the schedule, their abstracts will be published in the form of proceedings. That's the practice of ABMC. We are doing it for all the events we did. And those will be accessible on the website. Wasim, when should I quote the time? 72 hours, 1 week.
Approximately 1 week.
1 week.
Almost
Please,
ready.
yeah, we can say 1 week, but we will deliver that before the time. This is point one. Point two, and those papers who will be selected after the review for the possible publications, we will communicate to the authors. In case if authors are interested to go ahead and publish them into the Scopus Index journals, we have 4 at the panel. You will be communicated about them. And if you think that the fee is a concern, we have our own journal, which is very old one, but that is not Scopus. However, the papers will be published into that journal free of cost without charging any money.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so my question is as regards to the issue of but
I can't hear you. If it is okay for the others,
yeah, we
please
cannot
respond back.
We cannot hear.
Okay. Meanwhile, anybody else? Okay, Professor, you are back. We apologize, sir. Bashir, we were not able to hear you. Can you repeat what you said? I think there is internet connection problem. So anybody else is having any kind of question?
Sir.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, please.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. Hello.
Yes, yes.
Yes, I said the virtual certificates. When are you start issuing to the participants for those interested?
Day after tomorrow, from day after, you know, like after, let me tell you, after 48 hours, conference secretariat is going to communicate to you.
Okay.
Okay, you will get the certificates online virtual. And in case if you would like to have printed one, you can get it, but better to avoid it, no need. Almost all the universities, sorry?
You say if you want the physical copies?
Yes, for example, if you want to have printed certificate, we can send you that one also. But let's save the tree. That's the motto.
It's true. No problem. The virtual is okay. The virtual one is okay for us.
Great. That's great. Almost all the institutions now, they started accepting the virtual stuff very often now after the COVID. So that's the reason we opted that activity.
Yeah, we have couple of questions also on the chat. I think Mohammed Zamre, Dr. Tahir has already answered this question about when the papers will be published. And one question from Rabea about when will be the next conference. So if Dr. Tahir, can you reply to that, please?
Yes, sir. The next session we are going to have in July, which will be hybrid. And in December, we are going to have a cruise conference. We will communicate to you. That will be in Hawaii, US. And here in Dubai, we are going to have one in July. Although July is not a good time to come to UAE, temperature is almost 50. So that's the reason we put it hybrid. So 50%.
Yeah,
like some participant here.
Yeah, Farah Zainab has the question that will you provide us the recordings?
What should be my answer?
Hi, everyone. Hi,
everyone.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, then we will provide the
one...
recording. Yes, sir. Hamza?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Hamza, just unmute yourself.
Hi, do you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
I have just one question about the soft copy certificate. I want to know when it will be available.
After 48 hours.
Exactly.
Yes,
Dr. Tahir has already talked about this, that you will get it after 48 hours. We have question from Aminu Sani. Aminu Sani, you are raising your hand. You have question. Please unmute yourself.
I think Dr. Azim is saying bye-bye. Don't take my more time.
Okay.
He has given us a signal.
All right. All right. Over to you,
sir,
Dr. Tahir.
Thank you very much. So the session is formally closed. We are so delighted. We are very happy because, you know, like anyone who is a host, his heart and their heart become big when they see a lot of people at their invite. So whenever you need any kind of support, research related facilitation, help, and so on and so forth, legitimate one, ABMC is always there to stand with you. Thank you so much. Take care of yourself. Stay blessed.
Thank
you so much to provide an opportunity to present the article in this conference. It's just such a wonderful conference. I learned from it a lot. And I want to be participate, inshallah, in your next conference.
We will be definitely in touch with you, Ms. Nadia. Thank you so much for the compliment.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Mr. Wasim, you and the admin team, I want you guys to be here. Dr. Azim and I would like to talk to you guys once all the guests will be dropping the call.
I think we covered all the question. I didn't miss any question, what is written in the chat box. But in case there is any question, so we can reply through email.
Great. So what we can do is we can create questions, like top 10 questions from our side about the conference, and then we can put the possible answers.
Yeah.
Frequently asked questions, and we can float to the people. In case if there is some question which is left over, that will be answered even also. Salman, how is life going on at your side? Salman, after the marriage, I became very good to read the lips. I can tell you what you said. Otherwise, you was
No, I was just saying it's going smooth, but now it's a little slow because the COVID again here in China. So
it's again coming up. Something is going on.
Again. Yeah, exactly. Something is like
it's a new COVID, or
it is the same one, but it's spreading again. The wave, I think wave 3 or 4 something.
Some new wave is coming up. And you are currently in China. I hope it's not very late for you.
Yes,
there?
I am in China. Yes, it's not late. It's just 10 p.m.
10 p.m. Okay,
Not
that's
so
great. So we don't want to hold you because your dinner might be waiting for you as a family. Wasim, can you identify us the team members? Salman, I know Salman is the old champion since many years. He is with us.
Yes, yes. And Anusha is also with us. Anusha has worked with us, and she.
Anusha, are you here?
Yeah, Anusha is here.
Yes, Anusha Kamal, I can see. Who else? We are 2.
Yes, and Usman left earlier. And Dr. Ariba also joined us in the start, but she had to leave for some emergency.
Okay, okay. So, but the other people to whom I can see, obviously, they are not the technical team. Yes, am I right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
So,
Wasim, you can stop recording.
Yeah. So we have some representatives still here, I think.
Yeah, Wasim, sometime, you know, like people, probably they might be on.
Yeah, we can we
help them closing their sessions?
Yeah, I think we should. There is options available. Sometime we join from more than 1 devices.
Yeah, that's the reason. And then we forget closing the other one.
Forget exactly. But it was great experience. I'm really thankful
Don't allow,
So
Anusha and
Dr.
Suman, don't allow anyone in, okay? I'm putting people on waiting room, okay?
Yeah.
So
Okay,
you're
thanks
putting
God.
people in waiting room?
Thanks God I didn't remove Anusha. I didn't know because she's our teammate.
Yeah, Anusha is our teammate.
Anusha messaged me.
Because I removed about
Tell Dr. Tahir
10 to 10, 11 people.
Anusha, thank you so much. You are working with us. I can't remember because I'm getting old now. Last time you was with us or not.
Anusha messaged me.
Okay. So, okay. And Salman, I know Salman is a old pillar. He is standing with us wherever needed, and he is such a wonderful person. Anusha, Sir Wasim, I request you to. I'm going to send you some stipend. Please forward them and plus give them certificates.
Okay.
And if you need anything else, please let us know, because we are going to call you again and again, 3 times a year. Be ready for that.
Yes, sir. Sure. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay.
Yeah,
Anusha, are you doing PhD?
No, sir. I'm doing this
Do
honors
it.
in psychology.
Anusha,
Sorry, Wasim sir.
Anusha is Salman's sister.
ओहो ये तो हमारी छोटी बहन हुई है. अच्छा बच्चे ठीक है, मुझे फिर ठीक है, बात खत्म होगी.
नहीं डॉक्टर ताहिर, अगर ये लोग होते दुबई में तो आप इनको आप बताएं ना कि आप इनको आज रात का खाना खिलाने लेके जाते.
वसीम, आपको पता है वसीम used to come for the conferences in Dubai.
हाँ बताया था.
बताया था ना. वो पता नहीं आपसे मुलाकात हुई थी उस वक्त वसीम की. वसीम सेशन रिकॉर्ड हो रहा है अभी भी. Is it okay? बाद में मैनेज कर लेंगे.
नहीं हो रहा.
अच्छा मुझे लिखा हुआ रेड सा नजर आ रहा है ऊपर.
अच्छा वो अनुषा की तरफ से.
पॉज्ड है.